What will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Don.
Where do we stand on sus?
Hahn.
It's lame. It needs Viagra.
And Rosenberg.
I'm going to lift my shirt up, take my pants down, and shake it all around. This isn't North Dakota. This is New York.
This is Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
The best threesome I've ever heard.
On ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
301 of the big city. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg on a gorgeous Wednesday afternoon. Hopefully everybody's having a phenomenal hump day. Peter off for the rest of the week. He'll be back on Monday. We'll be whole again coming up on Monday with all three of us in the same place at the same time. How are you, Alan?
I'm good. You're right about the weather. Nice day. Did you know that last night was the first time since early May that the sun set before 8 p.m.?
That's sad.
And and you know what that means, of course, is that we are now heading into that good night.
Hey, listen, I love football.
And Rage against the dying of the light.
I love all the things that are going to be coming up in September and October and all that. It's great sports time with the baseball playoffs and the hockey and basketball starting. Of course, football will be upon us. But, boy, do I love the summer. And I love the good weather and being able to do so many things. We still have some summer left, but with the sun setting before 8 o'clock, it's just a little bit of a reminder as we get deeper into August that autumn is right around the corner.
Did you also know that I know you didn't see it probably, but did you know there was a partial solar eclipse?
I did not know that, no.
Yeah, this afternoon. Around 1 something, I think, it was when it was potentially, you're not supposed to look, of course, but there was, I guess, a dimming that you might have caught of the sun for a little bit. So, yeah. I'm all about the weather today, baby. You keep asking me questions about meteorology, I'll give you answers.
Also,
don't ask me about the Jets and their quarterback situation. I'm not comfortable.
I got it. I want to formulate. We have a list coming up at 4:30, and then Anthony led E&N coming up at 6 o'clock. And I want, because we're getting very, very close. We're less than a month away from the 25th anniversary of this radio station. And since I was the first voice of the radio station, I think it's incumbent on me to kind of carry that torch. And I think that however many lists I have between now and then should be station-centric, right, to the 25th anniversary. And I have one today, but I was batting around the possibility of like things that New York fans complain about over the last 25 years. And number one with a bullet would be Jet fans complaining about not having a quarterback, because that has been so consistent beyond the 25 years. It's been 50
Death
years.
Taxes and Jets quarterbacks.
Yeah, and it's the jumping off point. The Yankees had a big win. Mets got throttled last night. We'll get into the Giants, and Dart didn't have that great of a day. And like I said, we got the list coming up at 4:30 and E&N at 6. But the jumping off point to me is that Jet quarterback situation. And I was listening today to Carlin when I was driving around running some errands, and he's down on Geno Smith. I heard Jet fans excited about Geno Smith. I mean, I've heard this. The Jet fans aren't quite positive like Knick fans, but in the beginning of the season, they want to find some hope. I heard the same things about Justin Fields this time last year. Like, Justin Fields might be able to win 7-8 games. Hey, he was a high pick. He did some things in Chicago. He won some games in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And of course you were optimistic about Aaron Rodgers. Why wouldn't you be?
Well, that's my last. That was my last time of any optimism. Yeah.
But there's always been that, like, hey, maybe this is the year that we find the quarterback, and maybe Geno Smith can find what he did in Seattle, and this team could possibly be a playoff team. But no matter what you think of Geno Smith, he's not the long-term answer for this team. Right. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Even if he balls out this year, he's 36. Okay, so you're still going to be in the business of drafting a quarterback or trying to find who the next quarterback is going to be. Klubnik might turn out to be the next Tom Brady, but I'm not betting on that. So I don't think he's the future. The future is either in college right now or floating around the NFL looking to see if he can become the next Sam Darnold.
I think it's the latter.
And the guy that we've looked at as a possibility is Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Baker Mayfield is not available right now, but he's unhappy in Tampa. He wants a contract. Tampa doesn't have an appetite to give him one. And even if he gets franchised, there's a possibility that he might be able to shake loose. And Rich Cimini is the guy that I always look to when it comes to what the Jets are going to do. He's been around with the team forever, started with the Daily News covering the team, covers the team for us, and he was on the Jets Collective. And he was asked about, Baker Mayfield, whether that would be a good idea.
I think that would be a mistake for the Jets to do that. That is my own personal feeling. I know Jet fans want him. I don't think they would do something like that. He wants $50 million a year. He's not a $50 million a year quarterback. He's 31 years old. I looked over the last 2 years. I think he ranks 13th in QBR. So you're talking about a quarterback who's probably in that 12 to 16 range in terms of the pecking order of starting quarterbacks. I wouldn't do it.
All right. And he also talked about
$50 million, just quickly, $50 million. I know what he's, it sounds like a big number, but that's not it's not what you think anymore.
No.
You know what I mean? That's kind of where he is. I'm trying to think. Did Sando? No, Anthony Sando didn't have him in the tier 1, right? There was only 4 guys in tier 1, but he was very much in tier 2 when it comes to quarterback rankings, according to executives and coaches. So I think, unfortunately, it sounds like a big number, Don, but 45 to 50 is probably what a second-tier quarterback, starting quarterback, is going to make in the NFL.
Yeah,
it's a real number.
And also, second-tier quarterback, the Jets haven't had a third-tier quarterback.
Yeah,
right. So I understand everybody wants the elite of the elite, but if this team is as good as we believe they are weapons-wise and this defense maybe can turn the corner, decent quarterback play can get them in the conversation of kind of getting back on the rails and being a contender for the playoffs. But Rich goes on the Jets Collective that Baker Mayfield just doesn't fit.
I mean, first of all, he'll probably get franchised. If he has a good year, he'll get franchised, and the Bucs will probably re-sign him to a long-term deal. If he doesn't have a good year, and maybe they franchise him to try to do a trade, a tag and trade, do you really want him then if he's coming off a bad year? I just have major problems with that. That is not the Jets' plan. If you take on a 32-year-old quarterback, sign him to a 4-year, $200 million contract, you are blowing up your entire financial structure after maybe a couple of years of carefully plotting all this cap room and building through the draft. They're going to have over $100 million in cap room. Everything has been methodically planned out to try to draft a quarterback and drop him into what they hope is a really strong supporting cast. If you go out and get Baker, that changes all those plans. They just did this with Aaron Rodgers. You get someone else's quarterback, it often doesn't work. To quote Parcells, how many times do you have to get hit in the face with a skunk before you realize it stinks?
We need to get him on.
But
I think we got to get Rich.
Get him on at 3:30. I
love Rich.
I love Rich. We got to have some back and forth. Because, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was 39 going on 40. This is a 32-year-old quarterback. All right, so that's a big difference. Okay, this is not getting. Even Vinny Testaverde was like 34, 35 when the Jets got him. Okay, Brett Favre was deep into his 30s when they got him. 32-year-old quarterback. I know that. That's not the age in which you'd love to be able to have a quarterback. You'd love to have him at 23, 24. But at 32, we can go out there and ball for 5 years and give you a chance. Here's the thing that I completely disagree with Rich on. Completely disagree with Rich on.
Right.
You've built all this finances up to be able to drop in a Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield makes more sense to drop into this situation than a young quarterback.
Yes,
you've built talent. You've built talent that's ready to be competitive right now. We don't know if they have got a coach. That's another conversation for another day or another segment. But right now, you don't drop in a kid, an unknown, and then you waste another year of these guys' contracts waiting for the young quarterback to figure it out. And then, you find out in year 2, know what? We drafted the wrong guy. Not good enough. Now we got to start over. You know what you're getting with Baker Mayfield. You know. He's going to go out there. He's going to throw for 4,000 yards, north of 25 touchdowns. He's going to scramble. He's going to make plays. Is he the best quarterback? No, he's not the best quarterback. But if he goes out there and plays the way he's capable of playing, he will be the best Jets quarterback since Joe Namath. That's the point. is that you're trying to find halfway decent quarterback play. And I know the plan is to get the young quarterback. But a bird in the hand, man.
Yep.
The bird in the hand. Especially now, if you've got a young team or you're formulating the young team, have that young quarterback grow with the young team.
Right.
But if you've got a team that looks like they're ready to ball right now, you're going to tell them, oh, yeah, we're going to draft a young quarterback. Wait another 2-3 years, and then this kid will be ready. Come on, Breece Hall's gone. Wilson's already going to demand a trade. These young defenders are going to be like, "Mate, dude, I want to play in some really important games in December.
I want to win.
I want to win now."
Right.
I get wanting to get the next great quarterback, but you tried. And if you have the first pick, by all means, get Arch Manning or whoever else comes out of the draft.
But if they have the first pick, then something terrible happened this year, Don.
Right, and then maybe you're not as good, and that's a different story. And certainly the coach is going to get fired, and Muji's going to be on the chopping block probably too.
And then
you start over.
If I may,
yes.
You also can do both. You know that, right?
Yes.
You can do both. You're going to have cap space. You're going to have the ability to use your draft capital to move up because not everybody's going to be looking for a quarterback in the top 5. There's going to be teams that are bad that think they already have their quarterback in the future. Like the Raiders are going to be bad. They're not going to draft another quarterback, right? Like you're going to have that. So that's why it's not mutually exclusive that if you sign a guy like Baker, you're not why? Who says you can't? So there's a lot of things to me that you have to consider. And what we've said yesterday that we're carrying over to today, and you just said it when you mentioned Garrett and you mentioned Breece, you're talking about guys that are like, I cannot wait around for a young quarterback. And you can't tell me, I know everybody's pumping up this year's quarterback draft, but there's also still a lot of uncertainty about what these guys can be at the NFL level. And the immediate impact. Because I'm asking again, give me the immediate impact rookie quarterback. Give me the guy that was drafted number 1 that had that instant hit. Right? Like it doesn't always happen.
No,
now, can you have a Drake May situation where you got a veteran team and a young quarterback can live in that world because he's got a veteran team and a good coach, which we saw last year in New England? It could happen. Now, do we think that Aaron Glenn is that? No, we don't know. So I just feel like every option should be on the table and no option should be completely dismissed. And that's why I need to talk to Rich about this because I cannot understand that thinking of it doesn't line up. It's why would you use all this and then go get a guy like Baker Mayfield? Because you know why? He might be the best available. I'll give you a crazy name, Don, of a guy that you also should just stay in the market for just in case. And I'm saying just in case because I know this is probably even less likely than Joe Burrow. But it is still there right now. And that name is Lamar Jackson. Baltimore has an out after next year.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a contract after 27. And so that's something else to think about. You don't know what's going to happen. They just fired Harbaugh. They did it probably to appeal to Lamar Jackson. But at some point, if it's not going to work in Baltimore, how does he? Why wouldn't he test the market? Why wouldn't he wonder where I could go? Why wouldn't he think, what if I go to a big market like New York? You don't know. You've got to be available.
It's just the timing. I'm all for drafting a quarterback, and they still could, because I don't think it's going to take all 3 of your first-round picks to get Baker Mayfield if he became available. And I don't want to hear about, well, they won't trade him. Well, if they don't trade him, they don't trade him. That shouldn't be a reason why you don't want him. It might be a reason why you don't get him. But the idea that, they're going to franchise him, give him a long-term contract. Well, if they do, then Baker Mayfield's not available. Then you come up with another plan.
Right.
But if he becomes available, this is all the ifs and buts or candies and nuts. We'll all have a wonderful Christmas. If he's available, I want to be in on it. I'm all for drafting a quarterback. I get that. But the timing isn't right. This team looks like it's got some talent. This team looks like it can go out there and play and win some games if they can get some competent quarterback play. And they'll get it for a year possibly with Geno Smith, but he's not the long-term answer. And if I can get a guy that's better than Geno Smith, that's 4 years younger than Geno Smith, All right, if he cost me $50 million, well, that's the going rate for a really good quarterback. And if you've got all this money, it's air. Because if you can't win and you don't have a quarterback, nobody's going to want to come play for you. Nobody's going to want to take your money in free agency. Nobody's going to want to come and play for the Jets and wait to see if that young quarterback you drafted second overall is going to turn out to be great. Like, if the Jets stunk right now, I'm all for going out and getting the best quarterback available in the draft. But they don't stink right now. They're caught that nebulous place of they might win 7-8 games and blow their chance of drafting a quarterback or have to blow all of their draft equity to move up to number one.
Mm-hmm.
I think Baker Mayfield, to me and to Alan, it seems like the perfect fit. That's why we need to talk to Rich.
Yeah.
Just like the New Jersey Devils bring intensity to the ice, Viking Pest Control can do the same for protecting your home. And I know this. Why? Because I use Viking at my own place. The season may be over, but pests are always in play. So it's time to lock in the off-season defense. As the pest control provider and proud partner of the Devils, Viking delivers 45 years of trusted experience to keep ants, cockroaches, stinging insects, rodents, mosquitoes, and more out of your zone. Their local team builds a personalized game plan that actually works. You tell them, I got an ant problem, I got a mosquito problem, I got a rodent problem. They'll get right to work on it. And when you bundle pest control and mosquito services, you score big savings. One call, one company, total peace of mind. Visit VikingPest.com, protecting your home inside and out.
All right, Don. So I've got about 20 starting quarterbacks this year making $20 million or more. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And Baker is at the lower end of that list right now at 33. All right? But I'm going to give you names of people that are above him right now in salary, and I'll give you their salary.
Okay.
If we're going to use $50 million as like, wow, that's a lot. $50 million, guys who are making $50 million or more. Jalen Hurts is at 51. Lamar's at 52. Herbert's at 52. Brock Purdy, 53. Wow. Jared Goff's 53. Stafford's 55 with Trevor Lawrence, and Jordan Love, and Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow. Then you have Dak Prescott at 60, and Mahomes at 64. All right, that's their average number in their contracts. So now let's go below it. This is still guys who make more than Baker Mayfield. It's two of them. Both New York connections. Sam Darnold, he's at 33.5, slightly higher than Baker Mayfield's 33.3. Daniel Jones is at 44.
Right.
So you're telling me that you wouldn't spend $6 million more? You know what I mean? Like,
no, I would, because again, when Rich said he's like maybe 12th. When was the last time the Jets had the 12th best quarterback in the league?
God, are you kidding? Yeah, no, I know.
I mean, that's how bad it's been.
Yeah.
And as you said, you might still be able to do both.
Well, I don't know why you can't. Now, Cade Klubnik is somebody that everybody's excited about. He's a fourth-round pick. He's had a good camp.
Yeah.
He's a rookie, but there's been a lot of talk about him and a lot of people that have been interested to see what he can become. And if Geno does falter at some point, he did struggle yesterday, which you and I both talked about it yesterday. The Jets have themselves right now a very tenuous situation at quarterback. And while it is probably the most stable it's been in a couple of years, mainly because Geno at least has a bit of a track record of somebody that has had success, it's still, to me, very tenuous because he does turn it over a lot. And when he's under pressure, he does panic. He absolutely panics. He throws it away.
Yeah.
He will turn it over. He will have games where it's bad if they cannot protect him or if he's just feeling pressure. That doesn't leave you a lot of like options in case something goes wrong. You're going right to a fourth-round rookie and hoping he's going to be good enough to carry you through in a season. Let's be honest, Aaron Glenn cannot afford to have a bad year.
And they can't. And they also got to get back on the rails again.
Yes, and the players want that.
And the players they desperately need. I mean, 15 years of missing the playoffs, 14 to 15 years under 500.
It's got to stop.
It just has to stop. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Justin in Tom's River. You get us started off here on Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. What's up, man?
Hey, guys. Thanks a lot, as always, for taking my phone call. I'm as a longtime Jet fan, guys, I see both sides of the spectrum, but I have to side with Tamini on this, guys. And the simple fact is, we've went down the road, and I know you're going to argue with me with this. We went down the Rodgers. We went down the Favre route. As a longtime Jet fan, I want our quarterback. I want our guy to be drafted and ascend with the team. You want to take advantage of the rookie cap scale. And this team is structured for a rookie quarterback to succeed. You have the offensive line. You have the weapons. Yes, if you drop Baker Mayfield in there, yes, the Jets are going to be obviously a lot better, and I understand that. But I want the Jets to draft our future quarterback. It's time for us to have our guy, and we've never had that in my lifetime as a 40-year-old. The Jets also, too, the simple fact is if Baker Mayfield comes in, this team is not a Super Bowl team. Let's call it what it is. Yes, maybe they are a wild card team. You make a move like that when you have those kind of aspirations or chances. I don't feel the Jets are there yet. I want the quarterback to grow with the team, and I think we actually have the GM right. I don't know about the head coach. I do feel we have the GM right for the first time in a very, very, very long time. And I like the quarterback class that's coming out. And, we have to finally get it right. And just going – the only one I would actually go for, you talked about it earlier, is Burrow. Outside of that, I want the Jets to draft that rookie quarterback.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong, Justin.
Also, those
obviously...
3 draft picks –
Go ahead.
Those 3 draft picks, too, you don't want to just throw away. Obviously you have a lot of talent now on the offensive side of the ball. You address some of the needs on the defensive side of the ball. And he said no to 50, guys. Remember that. He said no to 50. He's not a top 10. Granted, I agree with you. He would be the best quarterback we've had in a very, very long time. But he said no to 50, and I don't want to waste that draft capital.
Well, I don't know. Well, first of all, Justin, nobody is suggesting that they're giving up all 3 first-round picks for Baker Mayfield. Nobody is suggesting that. All right? It's just to talk. Maybe they would take 1, maybe 2. Nobody is suggesting that all 3 would have to go.
Right.
You gave examples of Favre and
who was
of
good.
Rodgers.
Who should have been good. He got hurt.
But, I could also tell you, well, you drafted Sanchez. Yeah, you got the back-to-back championship games. It really wasn't on his back, and it didn't ultimately work out. You drafted Darnold, didn't work out. Drafted Wilson,
Geno.
didn't work out. There's plenty of examples of them drafting who they thought at the time was the franchise quarterback, and they ended up being wrong. And the guys that you're talking about, they weren't 32 years old, okay? Favre was not 32. Rodgers was not 32. Even Fitzpatrick was not 32. We're talking about a 32-year-old quarterback who can go out and put you back on the rails for the next 4 years and have you be competitive. And don't sit there and sneeze at wild card. You haven't been to the playoffs in 15 years. You got to start playing in playoff games, be relevant again, play on national television, actually be a team that people want to play for.
Play for, yes, that part. And look, Arch Manning has the name. You don't know. He's going to be this is a big year for him in college, obviously. But you don't know just because he's a Manning and because there is a little bit of sizzle about what he can be, his potential, that still hasn't, he really hasn't jumped off the page enough. Dante Moore was somebody that was supposed to be in the right. He said, no, I'm staying in school. Right? So Lenore Sellers, some of these names that I'm looking at here, I remember from last year in the conversation. And you're going to see Julian Sain, you're going to see CJ Carr. This is going to be all the conversation. But whoever you get, number one, it's not going to be a number 1 pick. If the Jets have the number 1 pick, they're going to have a new coach.
Yeah, they got a new coach.
You're going to have to try all over again and try to bring in a coach and everything else.
Right.
That's harder than you think because if you have the number 1 pick, that means you were god-awful again. And as we learned when Aaron Glenn was getting the job, no one wanted this job. No one of any credibility wanted to come near this franchise. Think about that.
And I appreciate what the caller's saying about it. They're built to have a young quarterback take over because they got a great offensive line and weapons. But unless you're Dan Marino, you usually just don't jump in, or Ben Roethlisberger, Hall of Famers that jump in right away and compete. Yep. A lot of times they struggle. They make mistakes. They're not very good the first year. Even if they got things around. Eli Manning almost died on the field.
That was a veteran
team. Next year, they go to the playoffs and they win 11 games, but it took a while for them to finally get to be an elite team with Eli. It took 4 years. Do you think Wilson wants 4 years? You think Breece Hall wants 4 years to wait for a young quarterback to finally become a champion?
Yeah. No.
I'm
not an easy decision. This is not an easy thing. No, it's not easy.
And you know what? I'm not mad at the caller, and I'm not mad at people that think they want to just draft a quarterback. But what I get mad at is just dismissing Baker Mayfield, who say he doesn't fit. And the person that we are disagreeing with is Rich Cimini. And we've got to try to get him on.
Yeah, let's get him on. I'd love to talk to Rich anyway.
We'll also take your calls at 1-800-919-3776. The Yankees have found the formula on how to win because they do it the same way every single game. Francisco Lindor had some very interesting things to say that seemed to upset Met fans, and I'll tell you why you shouldn't be upset with Lindor. I've got a list at 4:30. I've got an Anthony Pusick letting in, and at 6. It's Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Take up till 6:30. Then it's Mets Braves on ESPN New York.
Long Island is more exciting than ever at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. This August, don't miss the Big 5 spin-off and your chance to win your share of $55,550. Be here on Friday, August 7th and 28th from 3 to 7 p.m. when one lucky winner will be drawn every hour to select 4 balls from the lottery drum to win up to $5,555 cash. Don't miss the Big 5 spin-off where Long Island wins at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel.
If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Hey, New York and New Jersey. Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever. Meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets. So go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. At Rings End, they're there to help realize your modern design visions. That's why they partner with Marvin. Engineered for big ideas, Marvin Modern Windows and Doors deliver effortless elegance, expansive views, and industry-leading innovation, all in a modular system designed to meet the exacting principles of modern architecture. Experience Marvin Modern at a Rings End showroom today and create something stunning with them. Rings End is a certified Marvin installing retailer.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
And now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Hey there, guys. Good afternoon. We're in rough shape on the belt in Brooklyn. First on the westbound side, a crash right before the Patagonia Basin Bridge. Been out there for a while. Traffic is jammed there and backed up to JFK and Queens. Eastbound side, another accident slowing you down right after Bay Parkway. Bumper to bumper there from before the Verrazano. Delays go back into Bay Ridge. Inbound George roadwork on the upper deck, about 20 minutes using 8095. A little bit better from the 4 and 46 approaches. Best of it's the outbound George Westside Highway and Henry Hudson. Cross Bronx westbound, slam from White Plains Road on through. Outbound Lincoln, your best ride at 5 to 10. Outbound Helena run you 20 to 30. This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a police at MAD. Visit mad.org. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
In a world parched for excitement, one drink will emerge. Twisted Tea, the refreshing thrill ride of flavor. Recreating its classic role as the hard iced tea that goes down smooth. Twisted Tea doesn't just taste like real iced tea, it's made with real brewed tea and a 5% kick of alcohol. Taste the adventure with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly. My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg with you here on a Wednesday. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the last few weeks of summer. Football is on the horizon. Preseason games coming up this weekend. Always a sign that autumn is around the corner. Rich Cimini unavailable today, so we'll hopefully talk to him maybe tomorrow.
We'll get him tomorrow. Yeah,
but
he's got stuff going on. Donnie, I'm reading this wonderful book. Just taking a look at this right here. You remember this book?
I remember that book.
You know who wrote this?
That would be an Alan Hahn vehicle.
Yeah, and Peter Body as well.
Peter Body, I read that book.
I'm in a chapter called Fish Sticks and the Great Kirk Muller. It's early in the book. And there's a lot of details and reality and facts here that a lot of young Islander fans need to hear at some point today.
No, we're definitely going to get into that because Rick DiPietro had some thoughts on it this morning.
Very disappointed in Rico.
As somebody that played for the Islanders, you're somebody that covered the Islanders, and I am somebody that I could say I covered the Islanders as well. When this radio station started, we had the rights, and I spent many a night at the Coliseum and then doing shows over at it was Champions at the time.
It was Champion? I thought it was Pitchers.
It was Pitchers before
Pitchers,
Champions,
then Champions.
Yeah, then it became Champions. I did shows there. And, I'd sit there, be doing a show, and Billy Smith would be playing pool, taking people's money.
There was nothing better than that scene. That was that was the Star Wars cantina of hockey.
It really was. Rick DiPietro would be at a booth, and we'd be asking him to come on, and he'd ignore me.
And I wasn't allowed to eat. We were told that the kitchen closed except for a table that had Don. Who'd you do the show? It was you and I'm trying to remember who you were with. But
I was just with a bunch of different.
It was but
if you're talking about the show I used to do with Terry Bradway every Monday.
No, it was Islander related. But anyways, so post game, everybody would go over to that bar, and the kitchen would close. And by the time I filed a story, you couldn't order anything. And I remember seeing the table you were sitting at doing your show had. I think it's as if you looked at the menu and said, "Yeah, we'll take it."
Yeah.
And so the whole table's filled with appetizers, and I'm just like, but Don LaGreca has food? Yeah, but that's for Don LaGreca. And I'm telling you, Peter and I looked at each other like, oh, whoa. God forbid we have any.
Hey, listen, I had an
the great Don LaGreca.
I don't know what it was, but I'd be out there, and it would be me and Peter Schwartz and Mike Mancuso and whoever was covering games back then. You get a nice Ranger Islander game, and everybody would go on after. We did a lot of shows.
Steve Levy would be there. A lot of officials, referees from the game would hang out. It was
a great. It was like literally right across the street. So, and a lot of I don't know if any teams ever. I think by the time I don't think teams ever stayed there.
No, they were at the Garden City Hotel by then.
But still, it was just right across the parking lot. It was a great place to hang.
You would never go home after a game. You go there first.
No, it was always great. And then what was the name of the place that was actually in the Coliseum? Was the Blue Line?
Yeah. That they made that a thing for a while later on, and that was a cool spot too. But there was nothing like that Marriott.
But. So we are definitely entrenched in the opinion about the fish sticks, and we will get into that a little bit later on.
Generational
we're just talking about
going on.
Just we're jumping off of what Rich said about Baker Mayfield wouldn't be a fit, and we'll see if Baker Mayfield's going to become available. But I just think that if this team is as good as people believe it is outside of the quarterback, with the line and the weapons on the offensive side of the ball and what this defense could be, it just seems more fit for a veteran than to wait on the young quarterback, especially if the Jets are going to have the kind of year where they're not going to be able to draft high and use that equity because you're talking about, well, I don't want to give up 3 picks for Baker Mayfield. No, nor would I. but you might have to give up 3 to move up high enough to draft a quarterback. So you're taking the same risk in the sense of if I'm going to move up to 1 to get Arch Manning, I'm probably going to have to give up all of my draft capital to get him, and then it's all right, let's hope and see if he can be what we're looking for.
Right.
The hope is you want to do better than Baker Mayfield. I understand that from a Jets perspective. You want to find a quarterback that's younger and better than Baker Mayfield. But the thing about getting a Baker Mayfield is you know what he's going to do for you. And if you're going to ride in 4,000 yards and 25 touchdowns on this team, I think you're a playoff team this year. And don't sneeze at that. You're not a Super Bowl team, but you're back. You're out of relegation. You're back in the NFL. And I think there's something to that after 15 years of being in the wilderness. Let's see what you have to say about it. David's in Elizabeth. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Dave?
What's going on, Hollywood Hahn? What's going on, Don?
What's up?
Gentlemen, let's get straight into it. So, look, check this out. I'm going to tell you the reason why I disagree with you guys, but I agree with you guys. I disagree because, like the last caller said, he kind of took a page from my book. I want us to do this the organic way, where they draft a quarterback and bring them in the way that they're setting it up. You guys are right. In the past, they've done this too, and they didn't hit Wilson, Darnold in the beginning, even though Darnold shaked up afterwards. Other quarterbacks as well, and they didn't hit. But the one thing I will say about this is Muji actually has the structure correct, the line, the weapons, a little bit of pieces on defense, and hopefully moving forward, he'll have a new coach and possibly a brand new quarterback, and then we could see if we could do it the way that some of the other ball clubs have done, like with Bo Nix and possibly a little bit Jackson Dart and things of that nature. I do see what you guys are saying, too. We're bringing Baker in because he's already established. He's way younger than all those other pieces that we bought in, such as Rodgers and other quarterbacks that didn't pan out here, and I get it, man. At the end of the day, I'm just tired of heartbreak, bro. I just want to go and enjoy my ball club and organization being functional. Like on Friday, I'm going to the game. I hope Club Nick plays pretty good. Like he's having a strong camp, like Alan said, and I just want him to, keep on elaborating on that and getting better, man. I just want the neophytes to do well.
This is where they are, John. Thank you, David. David is very much a voice of a Jet fan, right? And it sounds so familiar to me because what he's saying. That's why I can't a lot of times in these debates we can really we can attack and we can get real aggressive, but I can't hear. Because I understand. You heard what he said, man. I just want to be good again. Just want to have something to feel good about. So no one really knows what's the right way to go. And it's almost very similar to when the Knicks were always looking for that player that's going to drag them out of the mud. And sometimes it was chasing a big name like Melo or drafting a young guy like Porzingis, trying to find a point guard. They could never find a damn point guard. And you remember, I've just screamed about it to the high heavens until they get a point guard. And somebody that understands New York and can handle New York, it's never going anywhere. It's never getting off the ground. It's the same thing with the Jets until they find one. Well, you either are going to try to draft one really high who's a superstar stepping in. You didn't get Ja Morant. You couldn't do it, right? You didn't get Zion. You didn't win the lottery. So instead it turns into Jalen Brunson. Who saw that coming? Nobody. But he was the right guy. You don't know. You just got to find the right fit, and it's got to hit. And that's really where the Jets are with this quarterback thing. There is no obvious answer, right? Would you agree? There is no obvious answer. We all have our opinions, but there's no obvious answer.
And they don't look like they're going to be bad enough where they can just tank for
of course not.
The pick. So now you're going to have to give up draft equity to be able to move up. And you brought up the Knicks. Well, everybody wants to do it organically. Did the Knicks do it organically?
Not really.
Was it through the draft?
No.
Or was it trades and free agency that got them the championship?
Right. It was shrewd trades, smart moves, pieces, and then, of course, the chemistry aspect, finding players who all make sense. So, yes, it was built that way because I've always said the draft is – you know how the whole thing the Cashman allegedly said about the playoffs are a crapshoot? I'm sorry. The draft, everybody, in every league is legitimately, literally a crapshoot. You don't know until you know.
Yeah.
With everything you do in the draft. You don't know until you know. And while you have draft picks, all that is air. It's currency of hope. I've got all these picks, and I could do something with it. But until you do something with it, you have no idea what the value of those picks are.
And I know there seems to be that purity of let's just draft the quarterback high, mature him, he becomes our franchise quarterback. Right. But where was Mahomes taken? Where was Hurts taken?
Yeah.
Darnold was taken high, but how many teams did he have to play on before he ended up in Seattle to
Trevor
win that
Lawrence, they're still waiting for in Jacksonville, aren't they?
Absolutely. And,
C.J. Stroud?
Listen, Burrow was the first overall pick, and he won in Kansas City against the Chiefs, and he went to a Super Bowl, but he's been hurt. Hasn't been back to a Super Bowl since. Hasn't been to the playoffs in a while. Like there's a lot that goes. There's a lot that goes
Caleb
into
Williams. There's one. You can make the case for certain places where they were bad. They drafted this guy, and he's really become the future. There's a couple that you could say hit, and then there's Brock Purdy, who was the last guy taken in the entire draft. You don't know until you know. You don't. You have no idea. Bryce Young. How many years did it take? And they almost gave up on him. In fact, it looked like they gave up on him twice.
Yeah.
And they still don't know. They got to pay him. He's coming up. What do you do there?
Yeah, that's very.
It's a big year for him.
So
you don't know until you know.
One of our favorites, Doug in Florida. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Doug?
Papa Smurf.
How you doing, guys?
How are you?
How are you?
I'm great. I just wanted to chime in. I agree with both of you that you can't. If Baker is available, and who knows if that'll materialize, but you gotta try it because they've been unsuccessful too many times with drafting a number one. The last time they drafted a guy in the first round who had success was Chad Pennington. That was 25 years ago.
Well, even that was pretty limited, Doug. Right?
Mark Sanchez.
I know. Yes, because he got hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, but Mark Sanchez as a first-round pick wasn't a flop. He had success. It just the wheels fell off.
He had success in the playoffs. But if he didn't have the running game, they wouldn't have been successful.
Fair. And they also broke up that roster. They made some tough decisions with that roster once they got older.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I wouldn't put it all on
Sanchez.
Sanchez.
No question.
But yeah, no.
They not all on Sanchez. But once he got clobbered by the Ravens, that was the end of his career.
Yeah, well,
and you know what, Doug, you didn't draft him 5th overall to be a game manager, and he was a game manager, and he was fine for that particular moment.
Exactly right.
And then it just he couldn't give you anything more, and then when it was over, it was over.
Yeah.
And that's not what you take 5th overall.
Darnold could have been the right pick, but they didn't have the right people to teach him.
Yes. Yeah, that's the problem is the timing. Yeah. The timing with him was he was the right pick. They were the wrong franchise. Right. That was the difference there.
That's correct. Because
so
they didn't have.
But how do you know? See, again,
he learned in San Francisco.
Of course he did. As a lot of guys do, they get right with some of these Shanahan people. But all I'm saying is how do you know that they have the right people now for a young quarterback?
Well, Frank Reich does.
Exactly. But you don't.
I wouldn't be in love with him as a head coach, but I think as running my offense, I think he might be a good guy to have there for a young
quarterback. I think Frank Reich is going to be fine as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
But you got to get a. Look, they drafted Geno on the 2nd round, and he couldn't succeed with the Jets either. So.
Well, listen, I feel for you.
Too many times.
We love your son. Of
Thanks,
course, Doug from Florida is John Winthrop's dad, and he's a huge Jet fan. And
big Jet fan.
Got to meet him many, many times. And he's struggling like his son with this football team that they both love so much. 1-800-919-3776. Tons of calls to get to. We got Mets. We got Yankees. We got Giants. We got a list. We've got fish sticks. It's Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
This is the Michael K. Show.
Talking with Alex Rodriguez, what you've seen of Lombard, what do you think?
It's amazing when you have a plus defender at short, how it makes your entire team better defensively. Lombard can do for the Yankees defensively and for those great pitchers what Aaron Judge does for the offense. That's how good Lombard can be.
The Michael K. Show, weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube. Presented by the Parisman Firm.
Whoever said fork in the road must have been hungry for the Sorrento and Sorrento Turbo Hybrid. Their 3-row seating and 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. With a capable Sorrento and Sorrento Turbo Hybrid, every way forward is the right way. Visit your local Kia dealer today. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Drive safely. See retailer for warranty details.
Hey Yankees fans, gather a group of 10 or more and take advantage of our 2026 Yankees group ticket specials. Whether you're getting together with family and friends, organizing a fundraiser, or entertaining clients, your group will love bonding over the Bronx Bombers. Start planning your 2026 group outings today. Log on to Yankees.com/groups. Call 212-YANKEES or email us at groups@Yankees.com. That's 2026 group tickets. Call 212-YANKEES or visit Yankees.com/groups today.
Tricon Construction is growing across New Jersey, delivering larger, more complex commercial projects with the precision today's developers expect. Because when the timelines, capital, and reputation are all on the line, you need more than a contractor. You need a true construction partner. Tricon brings experienced leadership, disciplined project management, and a team built around accountability and execution. From planning to completion, they build with purpose, professionalism, and pride. For serious commercial projects, build with Tricon. Visit TriconBuilds.com. That's TriconBuilds.com.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-9087. 800-575-9087. That's 800-575-9087 or simply visit TRA.com.
Mornings with DiPietro and Rothenberg.
Buster only joins us. Who is a team in the American League right now that should scare Yankees fans a little bit?
All of them. There's so much parity in the American League, it's kind of crazy. So if you told me that the Yankees reached the World Series, I wouldn't be shocked. And if you told me they got knocked out in the first round, that wouldn't shock me either. I don't think they have any idea what they're going to get out of Judge and Stan the rest of the year. Like none.
DiPietro and Rothenberg, morning 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Don Hahn and Rosenberg with you until 6:30. Then it's the Mets and the Braves. Got a list coming up at 4:30. Alan does not know what the list is, but I think
I know you always keep me in the dark, man.
Well, I think
I don't mind it though. Peter and I, I did a list last week, and I got to be honest with you, it makes me appreciate how good you are at lists, because it was terrible.
What was it?
It was very simple. It wasn't a difficult assignment. It was Brian Cashman's greatest misses.
Okay.
When it comes to trade deadlines and signings and all that stuff. So the names, it was there were obvious names to be put on there, and it was not much to do. But your delivery is really what makes a list good, because it's the anticipation. It's also the arguments. I did it, and Peter's just kind of like let me go, and I just felt like I was like, damn, like in the middle. When you're in the middle of something that you're trying to fake it till you make it,
right?
And you know it, and you have that other inner voice while you're talking saying to you, like, dude, you are bombing right now. That's how I felt. So I'm like, this can always stay Don's vehicle forever and ever.
I appreciate that. I think it makes it a lot more fun to kind of have you guys guess and not know ahead of time.
I agree.
We could always pivot something different, but that's kind of the way I like it, and I love that you guys appreciate it, because, like you said the other day, Michael didn't like lists. He couldn't wait for them to be over, argued, and you guys make it a lot more fun. So
the reception I got about us talking about the Who You Taking Out book, the potential of it, the other day from people, again, in our business, who are just like, you guys must do that book. Like, you have to do that book.
And we will.
We're going to do that book.
We are definitely going to do that book. Let's get back to the busy phones on 1-800-919-3776. Jim is in Queens. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Jim?
Hey, what's up, guys?
How's it going?
The Baker Mayfield thing, the Baker is going great, thank you. The Baker Mayfield thing, to say he's not a fit is just ridiculous. Any quarterback that's better than Geno is a fit. That's number one.
Yep.
Yes.
My thing is, I don't think Baker Mayfield moves the needle enough for me to go spend money and give up capital. Now, he's better than Geno. Don't get me wrong, he's better. But he doesn't move the needle for me to do anything. So, like, if you're telling me you get a quarterback that's going to win games for you on his athletic ability.
All right, let me stop you there. I want to stop you on that phrase. No, because you're making a point, and you're making a good point. But I want to stop you on that phrase. Count for me how many quarterbacks in the NFL fit exactly what you're describing. Move the needle, wins me games. How many can you count?
Oh, I was just going to say, there's probably like 3 or 4 in the whole league.
That's part of the problem.
And like you mentioned, you mentioned Lamar Jackson. Like, if you get a guy like Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow, you mentioned, that's going to be all the draft capital. Right. It's going to be all at least 2 of the 3 first-round picks. But like I said, my whole thing, Baker doesn't move the needle for me to do anything.
Well,
if you put lightning in a bottle and you had Baker this year, and you put lightning in a bottle, maybe you go to the playoffs.
But again, you're making my point by your point. Move the needle is not necessarily something that you're going to be able to get, because move the needle quarterbacks are not gettable. The other part is for you is do you need a move the needle quarterback, or do you need a quarterback that, like, here's a great example. Jalen Hurts, does he move the needle?
But
does he?
You know what? Like you know what? He had that Super Bowl. He got the Super Bowl pedigree, so that's a tough one.
But
that's not what I asked you, because he won a Super Bowl because he was on a really good team with a really good roster. It was well constructed. Sound familiar? And all he had to do was just be himself. Sometimes, like Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold won a Super Bowl. It's not like he was the guy who put the cape on and saved the day. He wasn't Tom Brady. He just did what he had to do.
100%. He was a mid-quarterback.
But, Jim,
listen, you can win the Super Bowl differently.
But, Jim, I think you're underselling Baker Mayfield. First of all, he's only 31 years old. I'm throwing 32 out because you're probably not getting him until next year when he is 32. But he's 5 years younger than Geno Smith.
Though.
He has thrown for almost 5,000 yards 2 years ago. Had 41 touchdown passes. Geno can't do that. In the perfect situation, Geno, he threw 30 touchdown passes in Seattle with a really good team, a team that, a couple of years later won a Super Bowl. All right? Tampa is a team that's, a very average team that goes to the playoffs because of the fact that Tampa is in a lousy division. This guy's got swagger. He won a playoff game in Cleveland. You know how hard that is to do?
He actually does move the needle.
I can move the Empire State Building easier than somebody can go and win a playoff game in Cleveland. He's got, and he won't be intimidated by New York. He will be something, man. I really think he's a guy that you would have a lot of fun watching. He'll make his share of mistakes for sure.
Move the needle guy then?
He is. I think that if you told me Baker Mayfield is the quarterback of the Jets right now, I think they're a playoff team. I don't believe they're a playoff team now. That doesn't move the needle from non-playoff team to playoff team. That moves the needle. And in the 4 years he might be here, just 3-4 years, I think that there'll be a year where he'll have this team going deep into the playoffs. Now, can they win a Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield? You just said it. There's only like 4 quarterbacks you can win a Super Bowl with. But we could have had the same conversation about Sam Darnold a year ago, and you would have thought I'd be insane if we thought, even coming off the year in Minnesota, that he'd be able to win a Super Bowl.
No, but there are different ways to win a Super Bowl, Don. It's not all on the quarterback. There are only like 4 quarterbacks in the league that can win you games just on their ability on their own.
Right, but what you need, though, you need out of the quarterback position, you're going to need your quarterback to make some plays. Like, I'm not going to undersell Sam Darnold. Was he the reason why they won the Super Bowl? No. He wasn't even the MVP of the Super Bowl. Their running back was.
No,
and they didn't even
he
keep
didn't make
him.
any mistakes in the Super Bowl.
But, don't make mistakes. But you're going to have to make some plays, too, and he did make some plays.
That part is that's all I've been trying to say. Jim, thank you. Appreciate the call. It's literally what we were trying to say. And that's why you can't just completely dismiss bringing in a veteran over a rookie and hoping that the rookie turns into what you hope he will versus I know what I'm getting. I know what this is. I know what I'm getting when I get him. And am I getting somebody that can put a cape on and carry my team? No. But I also am getting somebody that while I don't need him to carry my team, when there is a play to be made, I could trust he's going to make it. And that's what Sam was. Sam's a guy who just made the plays. Jalen Hurts, he's a guy that when they won a Super Bowl didn't have to make all the plays, but when he had a moment, he had to make a play, he did.
And you know what? If I don't think Geno Smith's going to win too many games for the Jets. But if they had Baker Mayfield will win 1 or 2 games by himself by making a play.
You mean him? Yeah, like
you know what I'm saying? Like he will do something.
Yeah.
I think you're under. Listen, is he an elite quarterback? No, we'll have that conversation again. But I think you're starting to see now that if you get the right pieces in place, that you don't necessarily have to have an elite quarterback to win. You have to have the ability to at times get elite quarterback play.
Yeah.
And I do think Baker Mayfield at times could do that for you. Would he be worth $50 million a year? Probably not. But if he gets you into the playoffs a bunch of times, makes you relevant again. Remember, we're talking Super Bowl, man. You know how far away they are from a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Right now, you just want to, they don't even have a primetime game this year. Not one primetime game. Not even the stupid Thursday. You're an irrelevant franchise. You're an amoeba floating around. Nobody's paying attention to you. So let's stop talking Super Bowl and just get back on the rails, man. Lindor had some very interesting things to say. Yankees won a game. Got a list at 4:30. Anthony Pusik's priming as we speak in ENN.
Oh.
At 6. It's Don on Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
Hey, this is Jalen Brunson. What's up, Knicks fans? This is Josh Hart. Knicks fans, it's Mikal Bridges, and this is your home for New York Knicks basketball. This is 880 ESPN and the ESPN New York app.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
That's ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
There are a million reasons to love New York. Making your budget stretch isn't one of them. According to an independent study, Amazon prices average 14% lower than other retailers. Get food, fashion, furniture, and more shipped straight to your building. Plus, another study found Amazon Prescription Pass customers pay nearly 1/3 less out of pocket. Learn more at aboutamazon.com.
Long Island is more exciting than ever at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. This August, don't miss the Big 5 spin-off and your chance to win your share of $55,550. Be here on Friday, August 7th and 28th from 3 to 7 p.m. when one lucky winner will be drawn every hour to select 4 balls from the lottery drum to win up to $5,555 cash. Don't miss the Big 5 spin-off where Long Island wins at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel.
If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Hey guys, it's Peter Rosenberg. And listen, you know me. I'm always honest about what's going on with my life. And recently, I've just been dealing with some nagging pain that I finally decided I wasn't going to ignore anymore. So I ran into my guy, Dr. Jay Shah at Samwell Pain. Decided to set a meeting. And after we talked, I understood why so many people recommend him. He's Ivy League trained, all right? He's the real deal. He's double board certified, and he takes a non-surgical approach to helping people get back to living their lives. If pain is keeping you from enjoying your summer, don't just live with it. Go check out Samwell Pain. Visit SamwellPain.com. Trust me.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46, and I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Harry Douglas here to help you get in on the sweet life with Cotton Candy 5-Hour Energy. It's that classic throwback cotton candy flavor, but with zero sugar and a 5-hour energy boost. I keep these with me so I can tackle that sweet tooth with a tasty caffeine kick and no guilty sugary aftermath. Bring on the sweetness with Cotton Candy 5-Hour Energy Shots. Cotton Candy 5-Hour Energy. Available online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon.
Congratulations to the New York Knicks. They are the 2026 NBA champions. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
401 of the big city. Don Hahn and Rosenberg take up till 6:30, and then we're going to hand it off to the Mets and the Braves. Mets got cooled off big time last night as they got shut out by the Atlanta Braves, so they have now won 6 of their last 8 games. But you called the who was it that sent it to me? Was it Alan? About Lindor, who did speak after the game about, I guess, with the New York Post about the Mets situation.
Right.
And he said the plan is to be here for my contract, so he's not, demanding a trade and doesn't anticipate be traded. I don't think he will be traded. He says we have the right guys. Stearns is the right guy. We have one of the best owners in sports history.
Oh, wow.
We have not taken a step backwards. Now, Met fans are apoplectic because it just sounds ridiculous, right?
Just dissect each line, Don.
Right.
Like, you can't even do it collectively.
All right, we have
You've
the
gotta
right
take
guys.
Each one.
Okay, now I'm gonna try to be as optimistic about this as possible. Okay, so call me a delusional Met fan or whatever.
All right.
Lindor was neutered by the world's greatest owner by not making him the captain of the team, and I think that was to pacify Juan Soto. But to me, with Alonso gone, Lindor is the leader of this team. I don't think Soto has any interest in being the leader. So by being the leader, I think it is your moral objective, I think, to try to be as positive as possible with the situation. So we have the right guys. Hey, you're the captain of the team, maybe not in name, but I think in just tenure and skill, that you don't want to call guys out. You want to believe in the guys that are on the field and your teammates. So that's being a good teammate. So I'm not going to rip him for that. Would you agree with that? We have the right guys. The
problem is we have the right guys is something that he said after a trade deadline where a lot of guys were traded away. And it's similar to what Keith Hernandez said and then apologized for, which is like took out the trash. I mean, we have the right guys. I think, to me, again, I don't know if he's just saying it just to say it.
But when you
because
look at,
you're not telling me anything that's not honesty.
Clearly
we have a lot of pieces we still need to get. We have a lot more building to do.
Course.
Not we have the right guys. No, you don't. Clearly you don't.
But you attach it to the next statement, Stearns is the right guy. So I think when he's saying we have the right guys,
so when he's
probably
not talking about players.
Cohen, we're talking about Stearns. We're talking about Sean Green as well, because Green is a part of the management team. He's not going to stay on as manager. That was made clear when he was made interim, that he was supposed to kind of keep an eye on keep an eye on things and that he would eventually go back to his job in the front office.
Right.
So he's probably talking about Green, his manager, and he's probably talking about, hey, maybe Juan.
So he is, you know what?
Talking about the stars of the team. I guess.
He's not talking about players. You're absolutely right.
Some
When you
players.
really
I'm sure
think
he's probably talking
quote,
about. I think he's talking about the players that are here long term.
He means the people
and
in charge.
Management.
I think he means the people in charge. Clearly,
probably.
But I think he's talking because when he said, again, as I'm listening to you describe it, it's we have the right guys, and then he goes right to Stearns, and then right to Cohen.
Right
so
to
to
Cohen.
me, he's saying we have the right people in place to build this thing.
And when he's talking about Cohen, all right, maybe it's a little hyperbolic to say, he is
Best
the best
owners in
owner
sports history?
But he obviously he has a nice relationship with Cohen.
The kids
That's
call that
clear.
glazing.
And so he's probably being a little overboard with it, but that's his boss, and that's the guy that's going to keep him here as a Met. Now, the one that everybody takes exception to, and it's very difficult to defend, is we have not taken a step backwards. Clearly they have. So that's when you kind of lose all credibility with everything that you said beforehand. When you throw, we didn't take a step backwards. You took a huge step backwards. You won 83 games last year. And now you're, 15 games under 500. You're going to finish double digits under 500. You're likely going to finish in last place in the division. It's a huge step back. Acknowledge that.
Well, think about it, Don. You're 2 years from being in Game 6 of the NLCS.
Right. And
what do you mean you didn't take a step backwards? You've done nothing but moonwalk since then.
Right. So I guess if you wanted to play a devil's advocate, which I'm using that role right now,
okay,
is that I think he's looking at the wide-angle lens of, hey, we could be back. So say that. You don't have to be hyperbolic where you get caught in the lie, we didn't take a step backwards. You can acknowledge, listen, we took a step backwards this year, no question. But I believe that it's just a hiccup. They're going to be right back because you've defended Stearns, you defended Cohen, you said we got the right pieces in place. So you really he got caught saying a little too much. He should have just stopped at Cohen's the best owner in sports and be done with it. He just went a little too far with we didn't take a step back. Acknowledge you did take a step back.
Yeah,
don't treat us like fools, okay?
And that's why I don't fancy him as a leader, because one of the things you have to do as a leader is, look, we don't expect that you're going to take a blowtorch to the franchise. You do have to be honest in what you're saying and accepting as reality. And I don't think he was honest. No. I think he was just trying to, he was giving you PR speak, and a good leader doesn't do that. So for anybody that was, or even if it was him that wanted to be a leader, that wants to be considered a leader, that's not what a leader says. A leader demands more. A leader wants more. A leader demands more of himself, holds himself accountable first. Those are the things you do. He's not that. And Don, this was also interesting too, as I'm reading the quotes. Now, maybe I'm looking too much into it, but this was also an opportunity for Lindor to say something, and he didn't. He said, you have the players you want to build around. You have the young pitching staff, along with a couple of pitchers that are a little bit older. You've got Marcus. He's talking about Marcus Semien.
Yeah.
So he names Marcus Semien. He says you have Bo Bichette. And it's going to be up to him if he stays. Was after he said you have Bo. You have the young players, and then you look at the minor league system, and you feel like we got better at the trade deadline. So I believe that we're working forward. Who's missing?
Yeah. Not saying Soto is a little bit glaring.
Shouldn't you, if anything, if you want to go olive branch here, this is when you go, you have the players to build around. I'm here. Juan Soto's here. We're in our prime. You're mentioning Marcus Semien? Come on, man. There's your opportunity.
Right.
Once again, it just shows he's not really a guy that you can make the leader of the franchise or the clubhouse, a face of a franchise. He can't be that, because this was his opportunity to speak for the players and for the franchise, and he fumbled it again. This was his chance to mention Soto by name as a key piece of why we're heading in the right direction, because we got that guy, and he's one of the best in the league. He didn't even say his name, but he said Marcus Semien.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy, right?
He said Bo Bichette.
Now, I don't think I need them to get along.
I don't, but but don't tell me you want to be a leader or you're going to speak like a leader and you're going to say things like, I'm representing the franchise, and then you have a great opportunity to say something in that moment and you don't.
What's interesting, though, is...
Tells me a lot.
Make no mistake, he's not the captain of this team. And I think sometimes captains in baseball are a little wacky. It's not as important as in hockey where there's actual function on the ice for it or whatever. But still, the Yankees have had captains. It's not a thing in
football. You go out for the coin toss.
You are the leader. But there are leaders. Okay, I thought it was a little ridiculous when I told you when Keith wore the C. I thought it was silly back in the day.
Yeah,
but Cohen said we're not having captains. He did that because Soto doesn't want Lindor to be the captain, and Soto doesn't want to be the captain. So Cohen said, we're not going to have captains as long as I'm here because, Soto's got another 13 years left on his contract, and Cohen's in his mid-60s. So I hope he lives till he's 100, but he's as long as I'm here, basically as long as Soto's here, we're not going to have any captains. But Lindor doesn't take exception to Cohen doing that, even though Cohen clearly did it for Soto. Calls him the best owner in sports, but still has a problem with Juan. Like, isn't that odd? Like, wouldn't you be mad at Cohen, too? That Cohen is basically bending over backwards for this guy?
Yeah.
Neutered you as the leader of the team. And yet you still call him the best owner in sports, but you have a problem with Soto. That's odd to me, right? Like, you're not taking it out on Cohen. And I'm not saying he's got to call Cohen out. But you're calling him the best owner in sports. The guy neutered you.
Yeah, but as I said, too, though, because you know that this was a thing, and it was talked about, and there was a story about it, and Peralta had to bring you two together and discuss, and you were asked, so you have that quote about how it's all good now, right, and all that stuff. It wasn't that big of a deal, but we did have this meeting and all that. So here's your great opportunity as you're talking about why the Mets are in a good place and why we didn't take a step back. The very first name to mention, because for everyone, anyone in baseball, if you ask them, tell me about the Mets. Well, they have Juan Soto. Don't you think that's the first thing you would say?
Yeah, well,
give me something good about the Mets. They have one of the best players in the game. He's Juan Soto.
Now, I don't think he's the greatest speaker in the world, and I'm not sitting here defending that he's the greatest leader in the world, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You made some very good examples or that he shouldn't be a leader or isn't a great leader because of that.
Yeah.
His argument's going to be, well, Soto's known. I mean, everybody knows Juan Soto. He's the best player on the team. But you still should say his name, right?
Especially because you know there's people that are going to jump on you for not saying his name.
Let's make it clear. Let's make it very clear on both sides of the table, okay, with Lindor and Soto. I don't think they've got a problem with the world knowing they don't love each other.
Oh, clearly.
Okay, and you know what? I don't think it's that big of an issue because I don't think they don't play. Lindor's the shortstop, but Soto's not his second baseman. They're not a double play combination.
Yep.
One's not a pitcher, one's not a catcher. Okay, They don't need to love each other. Okay,
right.
And there is something kind of interesting the fact that they want the world to know that they're not in love with each other. But that said, Soto's been catered to. You've heard stories where he's sitting on the couch in the clubhouse during games, and the assistant general manager sitting next to him, coddling him. Cohen neutered Lindor for Soto's benefit. Guy's not going anywhere. His contract's longer. He's younger. He's the better player. But what I give Lindor credit for, he's not asking out. Like, he wants to be a part of this thing. He's talking it up. So we know in sports, we saw it with Brown and Tatum in Boston. We've seen it in sports all the time, that whenever there is friction, one guy is going to want out, especially the guy that knows he's got a way to get out, is going to want out. And Lindor's actually looks like he's digging in deeper. So despite his problems with Juan, he's doubling down. He's talking about the team. Yeah, he probably could have done a better job leadership-wise of mentioning Juan's name and all that. But this isn't a guy that's asking out. He's not demanding a trade. He's not, whining and opining about wanting to be someplace else. Despite all that negative, he seems like he still wants to be a part of this team. So as a fan of the Mets with not very much to hang on to, I think that's a good thing, that he wants to be here and he thinks that there's a future here. And I think that's more important than his relationship with Juan Soto.
Okay. And there is a future here because you have an owner that does have money. A-Rod, do we have the A-Rod stuff? Now, Michael asked Alex Rodriguez this yesterday, and Alex didn't answer it from a Met perspective, but what he said, I think, suggests something strong. I want to give Jake a minute to find it, but I know it was on the page yesterday. It was Michael asked him about the Mets situation and why are they, with the big payroll where they are. And Alex kind of suggested that they got to take a page from the Dodgers and stop trying to be like the small market team that outsmarts you with all the numbers and just throw your money around, get the best players. You're not going to do it in 1 year. You build up your team with the top players, and then you just beat everybody because you just got so much talent. He's like, but he was pointing to the Yankees. He kept talking Yankees and Dodgers. But the question was about the Mets, so he didn't specifically say Steve Cohen or the Mets, but he was suggesting you have an owner with deep pockets. It's not that hard in baseball right now with the way the system is. What are you wasting your time for? Now, you could also say they tried. Yamamoto didn't want to play for the Mets. Tucker didn't want to play for the Mets. They did get Soto. He wanted to play for the Mets once they got to a certain number and all the other demands that he had. But how many other players did they try to chase that they couldn't get? Bichette finally came only because no one else wanted him. His own team didn't want him. And they gave him a deal that he can get out of right away. Other than that, he loves being a Met. You know what I mean? So you could – two things can be true. They could try to spend and no one wants to come, but they also have tried to be too smart or too cute with certain things, and it blew up right in their face this year. So the Mets, I don't know, they got to figure out what they are and who they are. But at least they have an owner who will spend, and they have a foundation of players. At least you could say there's some guys here that you saw. The one silver lining of this season for your team, Don, is that Benj, Ewing, McClain, like you've got some players who at least you could say are part of a future that now you're looking forward to. Now you have to have a foundation.
Now maybe this is all part of the plan because maybe Cohen knows that there is going to be an issue with a cap or something constraining to big market owners at the end of this CBA that is going to put the Mets and their structure and their way of doing things in a very good position. Is that possible? That's what I'm kind of hoping for as a Met fan. That hey, I'm not going to spend like a drunken sailor and get myself in these bad contracts, and all of a sudden there's a salary cap, and then what do I do? Because if you look at the way he structured even all the players that he brought in, they were easily moved, no long-term deals that are easy to get out of. That's why he was able to make as many trades as he made at the deadline, because these were movable players, movable contracts. So you wonder if was this all part of the plan? Like I'm talking conspiracy theory that like Stearns was given to Cohen by Major League Baseball to curtail his spending. Did somebody get in Cohen's ear to say, hey, it might be a good idea not to spend a lot of money because, dude, we're going to be fighting hard for a salary cap, and do you really want to spend all that money that's just going to kill us moving forward? That's the one thing I'm kind of holding on to.
You brought this up before, and I'll tell you what, it could be something that next year when we're really entertaining people with collective bargaining talks and salary cap conversations because there's
going
no
out to Jeff Passan outside the Major League Baseball's offices or some hotel room in Manhattan.
Right. He's staking out all day waiting for the no progress response.
Oh, you've done that many.
Oh my God, it really is. It really does get frustrating after a while, but you got to be there. But in reality, that's a story that would need to come out during all that. That Cohen came into this thing knowing that in a couple of years, the owner's going to be pushing for a cap, and I knew as a new owner that I can't be the one that comes in and just blows the whole thing up. Maybe that's the truth, but it still doesn't excuse David Stearns for some of the decisions that he's made.
Oh, no, I'm not defending
Stearns. He's made some bad decisions.
But I'm just saying the general philosophy, getting to your point about Alex Rodriguez, why they didn't overspend. But, Yamamoto wasn't coming here. Yeah. Yamamoto wanted to be a Dodger, but the Mets were in on that. Yankees were in on it.
Red Sox,
the Tucker thing. Hey, that
actually worked out.
I don't know,
because he would have been what a disaster that would have been.
You didn't know it at the time. They wanted to keep Diaz and ended up didn't. I mean, if they wanted to keep Diaz, they could have, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it just got too rich for their blood, and that's why they signed Devin Williams. But originally, if you remember, they signed Devin Williams to be the setup guy for Diaz, but Devin Williams was the insurance policy in case they didn't re-sign Diaz.
But
when you have a guy worth $23 billion, the philosophy should never be, just in case we lose, you should never lose. Right? That's what Yankee fans are saying with Hal is that you should never lose a faceoff. You should win every faceoff.
That's right. Yeah.
But for some reason, they weren't willing to go that far on some guys. And I wonder if in the back of Stern's mind or Cohen's mind was, I don't want to be stuck with any really bad contracts if the owners win this thing and we get a cap. And again, talking to people, I know it sounds foolhardy because the owners always end up losing to the players when it comes to work stoppages in Major League Baseball's history. But it feels like they are really, really, really going to go to the mat to get a salary cap. And if they do, the Mets might be in a better situation than if they did what all the Met fans wanted them to do in that spend.
Yeah, and then see what happens, what the Dodgers have to do and other teams have to do to get themselves under a cap. There's going to be some type of a grace period or an amnesty or something that's going to help the teams that are over it. It's going to have to, because it's just going to be, you can't cut players. There's going to be something in place that's going to that would help it. That would help some of those, because there's not many of them that would be over. I think they're talking about $250 million as a cap, which sounds low for baseball. So it's something to watch. But just speaking of Hal, let's get back to this conversation, not from a Met perspective, but to a Yankee perspective later, because, Don, there was some news that I put in the group chat earlier today in the NFL, and it is something that really blows my mind when it comes to franchise valuations and some of the biggest sports brands that we have in North America, and how one has really figured out how to make, like in a quote-unquote, you use this term, mom-and-pop type situation, has turned it into its own industry to where it is now the highest value in sports. And it's something that, I think maybe a lesson could be learned here somehow, some way. So let's get back to that in a little bit. But while I have your attention, Don, I want to tell you about Rings In.
You had it from the beginning. I don't know.
I always, that's what I love about you. You're always paying attention. Because as we've discussed, I'm here, home, project. I'm looking right out these beautiful doors right now, and right out to the yard where the pool is and everything like that. It is a great view now. It used to be kind of depressing, to be honest with you. But this project came out great, and the centerpiece is what I'm looking at right now. These gorgeous French doors that we got from Anderson. Anderson, who works with Rings End. My contractor, Michael Weldon, worked with Rings End, and they found the perfect doors for this project, and it worked out great. And for you, if you want to upgrade it, update your home, want to freshen up something in the house, doors, windows, kitchens, everything that you can imagine that you would need for your house, for your home, for your project, you can get with your contractor working with Rings End. Now, Rings End is local. It is not a national chain, so they are regional expertise, and they have been in business for over 124 years. They know the Northeast really well. They have 8 full-service lumber yards in Connecticut and Westchester County. They also have 12 freestanding paint centers as well. And by the way, if you can't make it to a store, which is the place you want to be because you can see all the products in the showroom, you can touch and feel and try everything, so you know exactly what you're getting. But if you can't make it to a store, I encourage you to do what I did. Shop online at ringsend.com. That's right, ringsend.com, Donnie.
I've got the list. It's coming up next. We'll get into a lot of other things later on, including the Yankee conversation, the fish stick conversation, and Anthony Pusick has a lovely curated E&N coming up at 6 o'clock, and then we'll take you up until 6:30, and then it's the conclusion of Mets Braves in Atlanta. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
This is Carlin on ESPN New York.
Jeff Passan is with us, WWE guy. Where are you on Danhausen?
It's I, Danhausen, here with great news. You're still cursed.
Entertaining, annoying. Your thoughts?
I think you can be both at the same time.
And that's brilliant. And that's how I've made a career.
Chris Carlin, weekdays at 10 a.m. on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
At Uline,
They know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Shh, here she comes.
Surprise! They sent a duplicate shipment to your flower shop! Now you have to pay for 1,000 extra carnations! Also, there's a beehive outside your store! And they're super aggressive! There's thousands of them!
Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise, saving 10% or more on commercial auto insurance when you pay in full.
Also, the egg salad you just ate was expired! Gross!
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world is noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins Aeroburst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of Aeroburst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You play for the win, not just on game day, every day. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control, all on one platform. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move.
Less than 4 in 10 kids aged 6 through 12 are playing sports regularly. 4 in 10 kids? Let it sink in. Just 4 in 10 kids. ESPN is building a nationwide coalition powered by Disney called Take Back Sports, with the purpose of training more coaches, expanding access, and creating community-driven sports programming that puts kids and fun first. We're working on that story. We hope you'll join us.
Visit takebacksports.org to learn more.
Now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks so much, guys. Looks like we've got something brewing on the Whitestone Expressway northbound, heading over to the Bronx-bound Whitestone Bridge. Jam there. Delays go back to Northern Boulevard and City Field. Heading over to the outbound George, looking pretty good on the West Side Highway in Henry Hudson. Cross Bronx westbound, jam from White Plains Road on through. Yanks are home tonight in the Bronx. If you're getting a jump start using the inbound George, up to speed for both the upper and lower decks. Outbound Lincoln already about 20 to 30 minutes. Outbound Holland 30 to 40. Turnpike Western Spur northbound in Jersey. Watch out for a crash by the Vince Lombardi. Right lane blocked in Richfield. You're crawling heading through the Meadowlands from just after Route 3. This report is sponsored by the New York City Department of Transportation. Speeding ruins lives. Drivers, watch out for pedestrians and cyclists and slow your turns to less than 5 miles an hour. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
You just made the list, buddy.
This is The List with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
Brought to you by the Allure Group.
And time now for The List, which again is brought to you by the Allure Group. And as I mentioned earlier in the show, since we're getting so close to the 25th anniversary of ESPN New York, which will be coming up on September 3rd, I want to have some of these lists honor those 25 years, Alan.
Okay.
So today's list is going to be the most talked about athletes in the 25 years of ESPN New York.
LeBron James. Well, I mean, that's an easy one.
They're all New York athletes, by the way, so LeBron James would not be.
Oh, wow. Okay. So then I'm gonna go with one that was a New York athlete.
Okay.
But briefly. But I know he was one of the most talked about. Aaron Rodgers.
I have Aaron Rodgers as an honorable mention. Ooh. He was talked about a lot, but it was over a very short period of time. You know, it was basically, are they going to get him? Then they got him, and then he got hurt. So for about, I would say for a good 2 solid years, Aaron Rodgers was a major topic of conversation on ESPN New York. So I have him as an honorable mention.
Honorable mention. Okay, so even though even in his years in Green Bay, and there was a lot of off-season talk about him because it was like every year felt like he was deciding whether or not he wanted to play or be traded.
Right.
That doesn't count because he wasn't playing for a New York team. Is that what you're saying? Because I feel like
no.
We
That
talked
counts.
about him a ton. Okay.
We talked about him a ton. So that was like the 1 year, and then the 1 year he was here.
Well, there's
like
some
maybe
obvious.
2.5 years. Okay.
Do you mind if I throw some obvious ones out just to see? If
well, that's the whole idea. I mean,
Okay.
you know.
All right. So I mean, Derek Jeter.
Don't have him on there.
What? Eli Manning.
Eli Manning, I have at number 2.
Number 2.
Eli was a major topic of conversation, just because of the fact that is he elite?
Right?
Did they blow it with it? Because remember, he was a comedy. Because you could put this like top 5 polarizing because there was so much conversation about Eli Manning. Should they draft him? And then they drafted him. And is he any good? And then he wins a Super Bowl. But then he's bad again. And then he wins another Super Bowl. Like we were talking about him constantly, basically from 2004 until he retired. Yeah. Like he was a major.
But he's 2
conversation.
But he's
I got
2.
him at 2. Yes, I have him at 2.
Oof. All right.
So I guess polarizing would be the best way to describe it because all the guys that I have on the list, there was just as much negative as positive, maybe even
Alex
more
Rodriguez.
negative. Alex Rodriguez I have as number 1.
Number 1. Okay.
Because Alex, the whole time he was here.
Yeah.
And because it's baseball, Alan, it was every friggin' day. And he's winning MVPs, and the Yankee fans are complaining that he's not clutch in the postseason. And then he's clutch in the postseason, and you're talking about how great he was. And then Yankee fans defending him when he was getting kicked out. Like it was so polarizing. There were just so many different aspects of Alex. And I just remember being on the K Show for years. Michael talking about how he's the Mona Lisa in a garage when he was in Texas. And then he was going to be a Met, but Phillips didn't want him because of the 25+1 scenario that he called it because Alec would have been all about Alex. And he wanted tents and his own merchandise. Then he becomes a Yankee. And everything that went on from the second they acquired him in 2004 to his last game as a Yankee, he was as polarizing as a figure, most talked about athlete for sure. I've got Alex Rodriguez as number 1.
One quick side question. As a Mets fan, do you look back and regret that the Mets didn't go get him first because that was in his heart to be a Met?
That would have been a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
all right, I just want to make sure that it was
I was
one of
very
those that
upset
got
he was
away
on.
type
Yeah,
things because
no,
I'm
for
always big
sure,
on
for
blood
sure.
in the ground, and that guy definitely for sure. Okay.
I'm surprised that he hasn't said one that I think is an obvious one, Don.
Well, you're saying athletes, not executives or coaches, right?
Yeah, these are athletes. These are
athletes,
players.
so people who played. Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony, number 3. You're doing very good with this. Carmelo Anthony was a topic of conversation constantly. And on the radio, it was mostly negative, right? All he does is score.
Shouldn't have traded for him, gave up too much.
Yeah, and remember, Colin Cowherd was on our air at that time. You'll never win with Carmelo Anthony, which I thought was lame because the Knicks never won and Carmelo Anthony didn't win. So it wasn't much of a stretch to say you're not going to win a championship with Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, that was an easy one.
He came close, right? He went to a conference final in Denver, but he had never and he was always talked about. Even during the Jeremy Lin time, it was all when Carmelo Anthony comes back, he's not going to be able to play with Lin. Yeah. But we talked a lot about Carmelo Anthony. Very, very polarizing. Okay. And he is number 3.
2 left. And Anthony, did I still miss? Have I not?
No, I thought the Melo one because I've heard that conversation on the old K show so many times. And I wasn't around for those shows, but it was, Melo was one of the hottest topics we've ever had. And we'd say Melo and the phones lit up. I knew that would be on this list.
Yeah. All right. So with that in mind now, we've got 2 left. I will ask, is there another football player?
It's a football, he's not, when you were talking about non-players, I was saying it's not executives. This is a coach.
Oh.
Rex Ryan. Football. Rex Ryan, I have at number 5.
Yeah.
God, he just gave us so much to talk about.
Manna from heaven. Yeah.
I mean, he was predicting him to win the Super Bowl before the friggin' draft. Like, he didn't even know it was on his team. And he was a weekly, and he was the one weekly, Alan, that actually gave us stuff. And he was so quotable. And he's given a finger in Miami to fans. Like, there was just so much conversation around Rex Ryan. What did he say? Who did he cut? I remember the one year it was a big topic of conversation because he didn't have a depth chart. He didn't want any. He wasn't naming any starters. Like, everybody had to fight for their jobs. Like, you're telling me Mark Sanchez isn't the starting quarterback? What's going on here? Like, he just gave us so much to talk about, so much to get angry about. Fans loved him. Fans hated him. Then they loved him again. Like, it was just such. It was such a soap opera all the time with Rex Ryan. So, Rex Ryan, I have at number 5.
Okay, so that means number 4. It's not you if it's not a hockey player, but I can't think of a hockey player.
Nah, unfortunately, it's not.
Took that much air.
I will give you a hint. It's recent. It's recent. Brunson. No. Not a lot of negative around Brunson. A lot of talk about Brunson.
Right. I'm sorry.
But it's still.
I keep
but you know what?
You're talking about notorious and.
Well, I'm just saying,
polarizing.
Yeah, because like Derek Jeter, it was a lot of talk. Like Derek was great, but there's there's just a lot of a lot of back and forth, a lot of love, hate, a lot of I think polarizing is the best way to describe because polarizing can be good and bad, right? Yeah. Like just everybody had an opinion, talked about them all the time, still talk about them all the time. Just not right at this moment because it's just not as topical.
Right, so it's not Kyrie.
So you know.
I and I'm going to be mad because you know how it is. Like when you're in it, you don't see it as much.
He should be loved, but boy, fans complain about him.
Oh, Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge at number 4.
Yeah.
Whether it's 60 home runs or he's not hitting in the postseason, like we have so many conversations about Aaron Judge. We talk about him now because he's hurt.
Yeah.
And he's not playing and how he's affecting the team and is he going to be able to come back? Listen, Aaron Judge, very, very polarizing because the fans still always want to see him do well in the postseason, and he hasn't done that as much over the last year.
How many people are yelling at the radio, Aaron Judge, you idiot? Right?
No.
You moron. Judge, come on.
At number 5 of the most talked about and polarizing figures in New York sports in the 25-year history of ESPN New York, number 5, Rex Ryan. Number 4, Aaron Judge. Number 3, Carmelo Anthony. Number 2, Eli Manning. Number 1, Alex Rodriguez. Honorable mentions, Aaron Rodgers, for sure. Brett Favre was talked about a lot when he was here, although it was very, very brief. Jeremy Lin dominated for, about a month and a half. It's all we talked about, but it was a very short period of time, but we did talk a lot about it.
Yeah.
Those were the guys that kind of popped into my head as honorable mentions, but I think those
Jeter's
5.
Not.
There was never really any controversy around Jeter, right? There's never.
So I'm going to show
nobody
you.
ever complained.
Can you see it? See up there is where I wrote the list as I was thinking of names and I was writing it as I went. But up here was all my who else? And all these guys here, you said, and Jeter's at the top.
Yeah.
And not Jeter. Jeter feels like somebody that's even well after he retired. Remember, it was 2014, right?
Yeah, 2014.
So that's a big chunk of the 25 years.
Right.
And how is he not somebody, especially on the K show?
Well, remember the four championships in 5 years happened before we started.
But that makes it even bigger because remember the whole thing with Cashman.
But it wasn't polarized. Everybody loved Jeter. There was never any controversy around Jeter. There was never any calls that Jeter should be benched. There was never any calls that Jeter should be traded. There was
Wasn't
never
there
any
a whole thing about him in the 2-hole and how you got to move him, you got to get him out of there.
Listen, there was, but who are you taking
out? A big thing. The whole thing with Cashman and their battle because when he didn't get what he wanted,
we spent a lot of time on the air, my friend, but most of it was very positive. You think anybody was siding with Cashman during that?
Well, look, you're right about that. I guess you're right that so again,
listen,
polarizing
Jeter could be
is
an
the big
honorable
part
mention.
of it.
But listen, I just think that as being on this radio station for all of the 25 years, these are the 5 people that when we started talking about them, the phones just blew up.
Yeah.
I can't. How many times I had to defend Eli, and is Eli great, and now is Eli a Hall of Famer? What did Rex Ryan say today at camp? Carmelo, oh my God,
every day.
Because you were a part of the station back then too.
Yeah.
But Alex Rodriguez, number one, because man, it was nonstop A-Rod from the second he got here. I was doing a show at the Daytona 500. That's where I proposed to my wife, at the Daytona 500.
Mm-hmm.
That weekend, that Saturday, they had me doing a show from a closet because they didn't know where to put me. And John Heyman reported, and I'm like, there's no way he's coming to the Yankees. That's ridiculous. He wants to be a Red Sox. There's no way the Yankees are going to get richer. Ben Affleck was one of the celebrities there, and they had they had a press con because I was doing the show in a room that was adjacent to the press area for the Daytona 500. And one of the grand marshals for the race was Ben Affleck. And they actually set up a press conference for Ben to react to Alex Rodriguez getting traded to the Yankees.
Wow.
It was pretty amazing. The rich get richer, evil empire, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And from that day, right until he was released and finally let go. When was that, 2016, Anthony? His last year with the Yankees? Somewhere around there?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
And that's all we talked about. Alex Rodriguez moving to 8th in that playoff series against the Detroit Tigers, and then all the PED allegations, and it all happened when he was a Yankee. It's number one with a bullet. So these are the 5 that I have, and I will stand by it.
So Rico just texted me, Cashman should be on the list, but again, you said only athletes, but Brian Cashman.
But I only had athletes, but you could have put Brian Cashman.
If you said just sports figures, Cash might be number 1.
Yeah, Cash wouldn't
Notorious? Come on,
Yeah.
that's
No,
got to
you're
be number 1 as far as the vitriol that he would have taken on. Because Phil Jackson might be in that as well, even though wasn't here that
Dolan.
long. But man,
you could have gone Dolan,
Jim
too. But I just
only athletes from Rick Stanton. A lot of talk about him, positive and negative, the contract, all that stuff. And then a good one, Matt Harvey.
Matt Harvey was talked about quite a bit. Very brief.
A lot of Matt Harvey.
Yeah, I feel strongly about these 5 though.
Oh no, you can't
Rex
go wrong.
was here for a while too. And there's
you
a lot of
can't
good.
go wrong with these 5. No,
yeah,
you can't
these
go
are
wrong
the
with these 5. Yeah,
but you definitely put Brian Cashman as an honorable mention. I just wasn't thinking executives, but Brian certainly is.
He'd be number 1
is on there. But
you think Judge is polarizing?
Well,
fans mostly love him though, right?
I don't know, man. Because Anthony, what happens when we start talking about who's a better athlete, who's a better baseball player, Jeter
the
or Judge
argument? Yeah.
They get on him and they get on him for the postseason. It just seems like since he has been here, he has been by far the most talked about Yankee from basically the last decade, right? He came up late in 2016, made the splash. Mm-hmm. Rookie record for home runs in 2017. And
he's been the man ever since.
And then you started to see the playoff failures beginning against the Red Sox in 18 when he had the boom box, New York outside the Yankees club, Red Sox club. And listen, is he beloved? Yes. I mean, listen, all these guys at the end of the day, Giant fans love Eli, and I think Yankee fans have come around on Alex, and certainly I think most Nick fans say, hey, they want his number retired now, Carmelo. But in the moment, boy, did they pick these guys apart.
You are right about that.
And sports radio usually is negative, so if you're calling about a player, it's usually not to compliment them. It's probably to criticize them.
Yeah. The Melo thing, that was right in, and especially when it turned against Melo, was right when I started doing shows on a regular basis and not like just fill-ins here and there. And that, it really blew my mind those years, how much criticism Carmelo Anthony took and how many times I had to defend him. It really blew my mind. And it's fun. You're right. 10 years later, how much they love him now.
Well, you know what it is?
And I laugh. I'm like, you same people were coming at him with torches and pitchforks, and now you want his number.
I got to say, though,
you hypocrites.
The one thing that I noticed, and I noticed it more with Carmelo than any other athlete, is that it seemed more from the callers and social media. I never felt it at the Garden. I felt like he was appreciated at the Garden.
Especially when he got cooking.
You know, but I just think that the people that were calling sports radio, I don't know if it ever translated to him feeling it at the Garden. Alex felt it at Yankee Stadium. He got booed at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
I don't know if Eli ever felt it at the stadium either. I think, again, Eli was very appreciated by Giant fans, but I just think that because they're not everybody's a Giant fan, and
that was the elite thing.
The elite thing. When Michael asked him as the elite, and it just became it was just
yes.
And it's football, and we talk a lot of football. But Eli, even after he's done, Eli will still be a topic of conversation as long as he's not going to the Hall of Fame. Like every time he's eligible, if he's not, that'll be brought up. He'll always be a part of a conversation comparing, the great quarterbacks because the Giants haven't found one since Eli. The Jets never had one as good as Eli. So his name will always come up in conversation forever.
So to wrap up real quick, because it's 25 years, shouldn't we do a power ranking of the best New York athletes? Now, not to a top 5. I'm talking about a top 25. Best New York athletes since the station began.
I would love to do that. So the station began September 3rd, 2001.
So it's anybody that played in New York in that time frame from
So think about it. You still have Jeter. You still have Pettit.
Yeah.
You still have a lot of those great Yankees there. Mike Piazza was still a Met. Mike Piazza was still cooking early there.
But in our time, like the best, and power rank them.
Wow, that would be fun.
Top 25. ESPN New York top 25 in 25 years.
Calls 1-800-919-3776. We still have to get to the Yankees. We still have to get to the Islanders. Alan's got a lot to say about that as well. But we cannot close out the list without telling you that the list was brought to you by the Allure Group. The Allure Group, where care meets compassion. Don Hahn and Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
With DiPietro and Rothenberg.
Buster only joins us. Who is a team in the American League right now that should scare Yankees fans a little bit?
All of them. There's so much parity in the American League, it's kind of crazy. So if you told me that the Yankees reached the World Series, I wouldn't be shocked. And if you told me they got knocked out in the first round, that wouldn't shock me either. I don't think they have any idea what they're going to get out of Judge and Stan the rest of the year. Like none.
DiPietro and Rothenberg, morning 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
When care matters most, experience matters more. The Allure Group is redefining rehabilitation and long-term care across New York with 6 convenient locations. Their expert clinicians create personalized care plans to help you recover, rebuild, and get back to what matters most. From short-term rehab to long-term care, Allure is committed to comfort, dignity, and results. To learn more, visit allurecare.com. The Allure Group, where care meets compassion.
There you were, surrounded by fans. Everybody remembers the game. Nobody remembers the guy coughing behind you. Till a few days later, at 2 a.m., you wake up with a fever and your throat's on fire. Now what? Urgent care? Closed. ER? Slammed. Telehealth? Maybe, but the pharmacy's closed. You needed a medical emergency kit. These aren't first aid kits. They contain essential prescriptions used for over 30 common conditions. Sinus and ear infection, UTIs, stomach bugs, traveler's diarrhea, and more on hand before you need them. Use your doctor-developed guidebook to select the right prescription or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's like an urgent care and drugstore at home. When you're sick, traveling, or stranded, you'll wish you'd ordered a medical emergency kit. Order online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
Hi, this is Don LaGreca. Just like the New Jersey Devils bring intensity on the ice, Viking Pest Control brings the same level of protection to your home. And I know because I use Viking at my own place. The season may be over, but pests are always in play. So it's time to lock in your off-season defense. As the pest control provider and proud partner of the Devils, Viking delivers 45 years of trusted experience to keep ants, cockroaches, stinging insects, rodents, mosquitoes, and more out of your zone. And when you bundle pest control mosquito services, you score big savings. One call, one company, total peace of mind. Visit VikingPest.com, protecting your home inside and out.
This is the Michael K. Show.
Talking with Alex Rodriguez, what you've seen of Lombard, what do you think?
It's amazing when you have a plus defender at short, how it makes your entire team better defensively. Lombard can do for the Yankees defensively and for those great pitchers what Aaron Judge does for the offense. That's how good Lombard can be.
The Michael K. Show, weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube. Presented by the Parisman Firm.
Hey, New York and New Jersey, Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever, meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets, so go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
Rich Eisen here with some advice. If high-interest credit card debt is grinding you down, it might be time to call an audible with a SoFi personal loan. It consolidates your debt into one low monthly payment with no fees required. And with as soon as the same-day funding, you can make the right play fast. Call an audible on your debt today at SoFi.com/debtplay. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891. Fast funds terms apply at SoFi.com/debtplay.
That pallet of pavers collecting dust, the beginnings of a garden, those stray fence posts. Are you haunted by half-finished projects on your land? John Deere is here to say, not anymore. Our compact tractors allow you to swap implements easily, and they're backed by the nation's largest dealer network. You always had the right idea, and with the right tools, those projects can get finished for good. Nothing runs like a Deere. Learn more at johndeere.com/compact tractors.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
1-800-919-3776 is the number to call. E&N coming up at 6 o'clock. Mets Braves at 6:30. A couple of calls on the list. Let's hear from Danny on Long Island. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Danny?
Good afternoon, men. Nice, Don. By the way, I did see the eclipse today, just for a moment, because as Jerry Seinfeld said, it's like cleavage. You take a peek and you look away. You don't want to burn your retinas of your eyes. So it wasn't a full one. If you weren't really paying attention, you wouldn't even notice it, but I was out there. So listen, great list again, as always. And the true beauty of the Don list is you never know what's going to happen. You never know where it's coming from. It's not relegated to just sports. And definitely appreciate the good list. I'm putting Boone. First of all, to be on the list, if you look at the characters, you had to be there a long time. Because there's been controversial people that came and flamed out. So you weren't there for what doesn't make you great over 25 years. When you look at some of the guys you had, longevity. Eli Manning, from the minute he came in, like you said, till today, we could open up the phones to Izzy, a Hall of Famer, and do 3 hours. It's just that good of material.
Yeah.
Now that brings me to Aaron. That brings me to the Yankee manager because it's baseball, and because every day you can question a decision. He has been a lightning rod since he got here, and it's never going to go away till he wins a championship. So he could be 6, and Girardi could have been 6B because he actually won, but they fired him. He was always getting getting grief for being a lightning rod and always doing things wrong. I think that comes with the position of being a baseball manager. And if I could, I would just want to mention Baker Mayfield for a moment, if I have time.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
I'm going to take that entire topic under, if this is Jeopardy, things that'll never happen, because Tampa Bay's not letting him go. This is the timeless dance of seduction between the two of them right now.
You're right about that.
So, and he was my fantasy quarterback. Now, fantasy is not football, but thanks to that and the NFL package where you can watch any game you want, I watch a lot of Baker Mayfield. He can be in the foxhole with me anytime he'd like. He's a leader of men. People go through the wall for him. He's knocking over linemen if he needs that 1 yard. He passes. This is how I judge quarterbacks. He makes receivers and tight ends into stars. Last year, Godwin, and Evans both go down. The next guys come in, Ibonka and some other guy, Tay Johnson. They're catching passes. They're stars. Tight ends, who now you know their names. 2 running backs, both rushing for 700-800 yards. That all happens because Baker Mayfield is there. And he's won playoff games for 2. I don't know if he won a game with Tampa, but he's taken 2 separate teams to the playoffs, which is not an easy thing to do in the NFL, and I bet it doesn't happen that often. That if he's not at table 1, he's certainly not at table 1. He's close to table 2. And if you could get him for 5 years in the eternity in the NFL, which means if the Jets signed him tomorrow, hypothetically, by the time that 5 years is up, the roster would have changed 100%. So who cares what the first and second round draft picks would be for the next 2 years? Because with Baker Mayfield, those picks are going to be 19 and 25. They're not going to be 1 and 2. They're going to be high up. So
yeah, that's true.
He's never going to come loose. But any thought that the Jets – I'm a Steeler fan. Baker, come to my team. You could take Aaron Rodgers, and you could take our 2 quarterbacks that we drafted in the next 2 years, and I'll throw in my pinky toe as an extra bonus, because that's how that guy changes your franchise for 6 or 7 years, which is an eternity.
And you were right, Danny. He won a playoff game in Cleveland, and he did win a playoff game in Tampa. He's played in 5 playoff games in his career. He's 2-3. He lost a couple of games in Tampa, and he lost the 1 game in Cleveland.
Hey, Donnie, why don't you also tell me how many games has he missed over the last 3 seasons?
Over the last 3 seasons.
I'll answer it for you. None.
17
games.
And
durability.
And again, I always told you the most impressive thing to me, and I remember where I was. I was calling a game for the Rangers in Colorado. It was a Thursday game for a drink to watch the game at a bar in Lake Denver. He signed like that Tuesday with the Rams and was playing on Thursday.
I remember that.
Lost the game, but he played well. And I'm like, this guy in 48 hours
tough kid.
Was able to go. He's just a tough guy.
Yeah.
He's a guy that players rally around. He'd handle New York. He'd handle the pressure of what comes playing in New York. Like I said, you win a playoff game in Cleveland, man. That you deserve something for that. I know. Is there like a miniature Vince Lombardi trophy? I mean, there's guys that have won Super Bowls that I would not give as much credit to. That go in there, like Belichick won a playoff game in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield won a playoff game in Cleveland. You deserve something for that. All right, big 5 o'clock hour. I know Alan's got some things to say about the comparing one iconic franchise to another.
Yes.
And we've got to get into this Islander thing, man, because it's become a thing, and he might go on a killing spree if things don't break his way. It's Don on Rosenberg until 6:30, then it's Mets baseball on ESPN New York.
Long Island is more exciting than ever at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. This August, don't miss the Big 5 spin-off and your chance to win your share of $55,550. Be here on Friday, August 7th and 28th from 3 to 7 p.m. when one lucky winner will be drawn every hour to select 4 balls from the lottery drum to win up to $5,555 cash. Don't miss the Big 5 spin-off where Long Island wins at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel.
If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Miller time. People think it just happens, but that's not true. You know what you gotta do? You gotta go say hello with some beers. Make the plans. Forget the couch. Go to that thing. Play the game. See them in person. Talk to that stranger. Live a little. Small acts of rebellion that bring us together. Because legendary moments start with a light. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2026 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Whoever said fork in the road must have been hungry for the Sorrento and Sorrento Turbo Hybrid. Their 3-row seating and 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. With a capable Sorrento and Sorrento Turbo Hybrid, every way forward is the right way. Visit your local Kia dealer today. Kia. Movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Drive safely. See retailer for warranty details.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
And now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks, guys. We're going to start off in Nassau County, hitting the brakes on the Northern State eastbound. A crash in the left lane right before the Wantagh. That is, you jammed and backed up to the Meadowbrook. Another collision on the Southern State eastbound off to the shoulder by the Meadowbrook. Police on the scene. Everybody stopping to take a look. Delays go back into Valley Stream. Packed on the Staten Island Expressway westbound, heading over to the West Shore. Long line of brake lights from the Verrazano on through. We've got the Yanks home tonight in the Bronx. If you're heading that way using the inbound, George, great ride for both the upper and lower decks. Deegan bunched up in both directions, heading over to the stadium with the volume for the outbound, George. Outbound Lincoln, your best ride at 20 to 30. Outbound Hunter, and you close to 40. This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Visit MAD.org. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
One of the big city, Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg with you till 6:30. We hand it off to the Mets and the Braves here on a Wednesday. The Giants spoke today, Alan.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting close. Football's on the way.
We have Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, we're Friday and Saturday.
Jets Friday, Giants Saturday.
That's right, as the preseason. Just 3 games. They really ruined it. It was never great, but 4 was so much better than the 3.
We complained about that too, though, you know.
Yeah, but we didn't know this was coming. At least, you know, you had at least a couple of meaningful preseason games. Now it just feels like. But hey, listen, 7 million people watched the Hall of Fame game against the Cardinals and the Panthers, which can't think of 2 less interesting franchises in the NFL. But that's football, man. They just
that's football, Susan.
They own it. Harbaugh spoke. Harbs, as he likes to be
your
called.
guy. You love him.
We got an update on Nabers.
Yeah, he's kind of exactly where he's been, and we're looking towards soon ramping him up into some group periods and perhaps some team periods maybe next week. We'll see. He's doing great. He's working hard. Spirits are high, and we'll see where we're at next week.
Everything seems to be trending that he'll play sooner than later, but will he be ready for the first game against Dallas? That we won't know yet. Tarian Arnold, I don't know if you know the story, corner out of Detroit. Right. A lot of things off the field, kidnapping charges and all that. He was released by the Lions. But the Giants brought him in to work out because that's kind of like what it is with football, bringing necessary roughness into reality.
Mm.
John talked about working him out.
Because we want to be aggressive in every way whatever we can do, find everything out we can about any situation player that can help us be better, probably. I would say that's it. You try to, the margins are tight in the National Football. You try to win a game. You come up with a good play. You can find a play on the internet that somebody puts out there that one of your opponents is running in practice, man. You look for those too. So we're looking for players that can help us all the time, and he's a player that can help us. Now I know your next question, follow-up question, is going to be, his circumstances, and that's something that also the organization has studied very deeply. I've got an overview of it. The organization has looked at it in depth. If there is a decision to be made on any player that you don't want to go there with a player, then this organization, they won't go there. So that decision would also have to be made. Just understanding everything that goes on with that. It's more than just what you read in the papers, though. I mean, you got to find out exactly where everything stands. I do know that our people do a great job of that.
But you know what I would ask if I were there?
Okay.
When you're looking into it, are you looking into it from the standpoint, is this a good guy that just made a mistake, or there's just a big, huge misunderstanding that this is a one-off, whatever? Are you looking at it from that standpoint? Are you looking at it from the standpoint of, will he be eligible to play under the worst case scenario?
They don't need to bring him in for a visit to wonder if he can play. That's a league rules thing. That you have that conversation with the league,
right?
For me, this is first of all, it's due diligence, and you take emotion out of due diligence. You have a need at corner. Let's be honest. Clearly, their secondary is not good. They're gonna that's their weakness.
I understand.
And so, in this world, it's you. Maybe the agent reached out and maybe said, hey, listen, there's some things about this case that, we're still, still pending, and there's some things that aren't really accurate. Whatever it is, all right, well, let's bring him in and we'll talk to him.
Well,
we're not promising anything, but at least we're in line if, let's say, it just goes another way and all of a sudden charges are dropped or whatever comes of it, you at least did the due diligence to know whether or not you want to bother.
Right, no,
it doesn't mean they're going to, though.
I get that. You do it. But I want to just find out, like when you're saying you're getting all the information, you're trying to find out, obviously, what happened.
Well, you want to talk to the guy, right?
It, all that.
Yeah.
But ultimately, what I'm looking for, and I know a lot of fans don't care about this, but I do, especially with this organization that has had questionable athletes before, is what kind of guy is he?
Yeah.
Not, all right, is he going to be eligible to play? Yeah, you need to do that. Like, is he going to get suspended? Is he going to go to jail? Like, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But also, I'd like to find out, like, what kind of guy is he? Because why do I feel like with these teams, not just the NFL, everywhere, because it's all about winning. It's all about getting an edge. That if they were told, listen, this guy is a piece of human filth, but he'll be eligible to play in 2026, that they'd still sign him. And that's where I can understand somebody going, you know what? I know it's a need. I know he could help. But you know what? I'm not asking everybody to be a choir boy. But if he did do this and he is a piece of garbage, let's pass, okay? Let's try to find another avenue rather than just be concerned whether he's going to be eligible to play or not. I do think sometimes those things are important, Alan. I know they're not important to a lot of fans because all it is about winning and all that. And then all the Cowboys will sign him and he'll go to the Pro Bowl and they'll win a Super Bowl and nobody will care.
Right.
But am I wrong as I get older and you get kids and you start to say, you know what, is it –
character matters.
If he's a bad guy, maybe I just don't want him.
Character matters.
And I don't know. He might be a perfect angel, and this is all a misunderstanding. And if you find that out, by all means, sign him. Or maybe he just made a mistake. People do make mistakes. But why do I feel like you could be told, oh, listen, this guy is really bad. He's a bad guy.
Yeah.
He got away with it this time, but next time probably not. But I can tell you, the NFL standpoint, he's eligible to play in 2026. That's all they need to hear.
Well, I'm sure Joe Shane did work on him for the draft like they do anybody else. So there's some background you already kind of have, right? You understand it. I'm not excusing this.
No,
I just
don't know anything about it. I just know what he's been accused of, but I don't know.
And it's not. That's not. It's not. It's very bad. It's very alarming. Like you're talking about not career over. You're talking about a long, long time in jail if everything that we know, like it's been reported, is accurate. But, of course, you still have to go through the process to find out if everything can be proven and all that other stuff. I think this is just strictly due diligence. I just think you do it. I still think, and I think Harbaugh is also leaving that, hey, look, with this organization, it's got to be approved. And if John Mara's like, no, we're not doing that, then it's not happening. But you look into it because you have a need in that position. You could land a player who could become like a critical piece. Like, didn't Aaron Glenn talk about him too? Because
I think everybody's been that needs a corner, needs defensive back help is going to look into this. No, you got to do your due diligence. I get it.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, I do think that like character matters and quality of person sometimes matters. And listen, maybe even if he's guilty of this, doesn't necessarily mean that he's. That there isn't some extenuating circumstances or whatever. We'll see what that due diligence actually means.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston spoke, and when he speaks, you kind of want to hear it because he's such a goof. He talked about camp being in West Virginia.
And West Virginia was such a great time of connecting, and it just was us. And I was happy our fans came out there and supported us, but it just was a beautiful thing to know that, we walk into the sports center over there at Greenbrier, and we see mountains, and then we get back home. Now we walk out and we see, Hudson Yards. It's just a different type of dynamic. But I feel like that time where we were gone for those 12 days helped us, put everything, whether the glitz and the glamour, behind us and focus on what matters most, and that's being the best men we can be and being the best football team we can be.
I like him. I wish he was really good because that would be. I think he'd be amazing.
He was a good player. Is that what you're saying?
No, well, he's not. He's not a bad player. I mean, but I'm just saying that. Imagine if he lived up to the expectations where he was drafted and became like a great quarterback and had that personality. I think he would be amazing because he's amazing now as just being a backup quarterback. This is. I really need to hear this.
Okay.
Because the Slug says he compares the Giants coaching staff to gumbo.
Man, it's exciting. It's so exciting because we have so many different minds, right? We have 5 coordinators on offense, and I think that's a great example of the leadership that Coach Harbaugh has. That he's letting his coaches build a system that's very unique to all of them. All of them are doing different things, and they're kind of like it's. I hate, but just listening to Drew Brees' Hall of Fame speech, I can compare it to gumbo. There's just so many good mixes in there. You got the old school, you got the new school, and you got just this melting pot of greatness, right? So it's really fun. It's really fun.
Gaster. I'm telling you, he has everything that you need for an entertaining, and I'm not sure if I'd rather hear him in studio or on a game call. Because on a game call, he could actually be really entertaining because of his ability to turn phrases. Like, there's a lot there that's kind of fun. And his voice he has a voice that makes it sound like he's always happy.
Yeah, I think you just nailed it. He sounds like he's having a good time.
He loves it.
Like, I don't know him well enough to know if this is all just an act. It doesn't feel like it.
No,
it feels like that's just kind of how he is,
genuine.
and he's having fun being himself. And I would like to have him on a game.
You think on a game?
Yeah,
would you need him as in a 3-man booth so he's not like, because I think you still need the serious sort of Czar the telestrator type.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
then you need the one that's going to just get fired up and excited. As you know what I mean?
Probably.
Does that make sense? It's almost like Legler and RJ together were really Richard Jefferson, because Richard Jefferson just is similarly just has fun and goofy. Now he's a little more dry humor that sometimes you wonder, is he being sarcastic or does he really mean what he's saying? But then Legler is just so smart, and I think that could be a great mix. But I can't look. He's still playing. God bless him. But I really feel like Jameis is going to be a phenomenal. I think he's going to be the next generation of your favorite broadcast team. I think he'll be part of it. Am I crazy to say that, Don?
No, it feels like that for sure.
Yeah.
Matt Nagy spoke as well.
Okay.
On Dart getting acclimated to the new offense.
Yeah, he's done a great job. There's going to be highs and lows through this process. We talk about it as a staff. Like, we have to make sure that as we go through this journey, we never get too high and we never get too low. Today was an average practice, maybe below average. It wasn't good enough. He knows that. We know that. We'll put it on tape, but we also talk about success through struggles. There's going to be some struggles as we go through this now in training camp and during the season, but how do we react? And when you can get it on tape and evaluate and try to show them what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong, it happens quicker. And I think that Jackson, per se, one of the most impressive parts of his game right now is the volume we've given him to get in and out of that huddle and some of the things we're doing, and he's aced that. Now there's other areas that he needs to get better at, but we need to help him as coaches too and do our job.
I love it. I love
the
just
accountability is great.
Yeah,
it really. I'm with you. The accountability part's good, but I've told you what they really are impressed with Dart, from what I understand, is he is really, really good at processing. But you can give him something, a system, a new play, a new book, whatever it is, and he will A, put in the work to learn it, B, process it well enough to understand it. The part now that is next, what I think Nagy's talking about, is the execution. Right? That's all it really is. It's the understanding and execution of what you got to do and the ability to do it. You know, that's what made Peyton Manning so great, is that he was such a great processor. He understood every type of offense you could throw at him. He could read things. I mean, he was a savant. But what also helped is he had a strong enough arm and he was accurate. Like you still got to be able to put the ball where it belongs too, right? And not everybody has that skill set. And I think with Dart, he can be sloppy at times, and especially when he's on the run or on the move. Footwork's everything. And I think the one thing that I was reading with them is that it's a lot of new footwork that they're trying to work with him on so that he can have a better base and balance and his accuracy and throws.
And I love Matt Nagy in that situation, the same reason why I think Dable's going to have success in Tennessee as the OC there. I think these failed head coaches, when they go back to being assistants, I think that's a good move for them, where they can just focus on their expertise, right?
Yep.
And not have to deal with anything else, but just focus on what they're great at. And I think Wilson on the defensive side of the ball, Nagy on the offensive side of the ball, Harbaugh here. I mean, the coaching, I just think, got a severe upgrade.
Their coaching staff, absolutely true.
You know?
Yeah, their coaching staff is definitely major upgrades all over the place. Yeah,
and a lot like Geno this year. A lot falls on Dart. Like, what kind of year are the Giants going to have? We know they're well coached, but the players still have to go out there and they got to execute.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't know if Nabers is going to be available, but if Nabers is available, he's a huge target for the kid.
Likely as well.
He grows in, should be able to run the ball. I think the defense has a chance, especially the front four, to be special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's problems with the secondary, and I think it's going to take time for everybody to get on the same page. But if you're going to tell me Dart's going to have a really good year and grow into the quarterback that people think he's able to be, the Giants are going to be playing meaningful games in December. Same with the Jets. If Geno plays like he did in Seattle, they're going to be meaningful games in December. And boy, what that's going to feel like here in New York.
We won't know what to do with
to be in December and actually have the Giants and the Jets playing meaningful games. Wow, both of them. I mean, now people are going to be really people genuinely were not irritated that they were playing at the same time, like the Giants and Jets. That was never a thing growing up. Mm-hmm. They never played at the same time. Now they're all playing at the same time because nobody cared. Both teams were bad.
Yeah.
Now you're going to see people really aggravated that the Giants and Jets might be playing meaningful games in December and the games are happening at the same time. They might get flexed in the prime time.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. Like it's been crazy. It's been a long time since that's happened, and for some listeners, depending on how old they are, that's never happened. So that's what we're hoping for here, is actually meaningful games in December where we're not just focused on the Knicks and what's happening with the hockey teams because now, or just talking about Christmas. That there's going to actually be some meaningful football.
Yeah. The weekends will be sizzling because those games will matter. We've been waiting for that for such a long time. I'm just so curious to see what the Giant offense is going to look like, because I have all along felt like once Harbaugh came in and you know what he's about, and you know what they have in Dart, what the foundation of his talent is, and Scatterbo and really two other guys in that running back room that are quality running backs, and an offensive line that is a lot better than it's been in years, is I really, and they want to be a controlled team. I just feel like that you're going to see them run more than you think. They want him to be comfortable being able to make the throws that he's got to make, and you do have Nabers to use, and likely like it's not that they're never going to throw, but I just feel like they're going to try to establish themselves as a team that is going to play bully football with battering ram running backs and a quarterback that can scoot.
Well, you said it the other day. When the Giants are good in their history,
yep,
they're good because they've got a ferocious front four that gets pressure on the quarterback, get good quarterback play, and can run the ball.
Yeah,
and then obviously you throw in that you could throw, and the Giants did throw, especially with Eli. They had Plexico, Burris, and Smith, and you go back to the Bavaro days, and they had good tight ends even with Eli. But predominantly, it's be able to effectively run the football, dominate the line of scrimmage. That's what you got to do. That's New York football. That's Giants football. That's when they're at their best, and that's when this kid is going to be able to really show. The difference between the two teams, obviously, is that Geno's temporary. The hope is that Dart is going to be here forever and be the next great quarterback. But you can really get excited. There's two things you need, a quarterback and a coach. The Giants know they've got the coach, and coach is. They think they got the quarterback. The Jets are looking for the quarterback, and I don't even know if you can go as far as think you have the head coach. You don't know.
No.
You
Two
hope,
things you're going to learn this year.
But there is no evidence that he's the guy. None.
No, not yet.
But the hope is that they're going to get it right.
Yeah.
And that they're going to get a good enough quarterback play. They're going to be playing some meaningful football games.
I think we'll have a good feel about Aaron Glenn by the end of September. I know that sounds early, but you'll know it because even if they're 0-4, you'll know it just by what it looks like. You'll know it by how he is at the podium, how he's handling things, decisions made, preparation, how they start games. Like these were all things that were so evident last year that they were god-awful to begin games. They were bad to start the second half. Like there were things that were coaching control things that they were just not good at.
Yeah.
And he admitted there were things that he did wrong, and a lot of it he pointed to the fact that he hired a very inexperienced coaching staff. He changed that this year. He's got experience around him now. He's in control of the defense as well. So all that stuff should be fixed. And so talent should be the only reason why they lose games.
And that's what you want.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, just because you want to be able, again, you want talent, but you want to know that you've got coaching is more important in football than in any other sport. You just can't. You can believe it or not, as important as the quarterback is, you can maybe find a way with an average quarterback to win games if you've got elite coaching. I don't care how good the quarterback is if you don't have the coaching, man.
Yeah.
Now there's exceptions to the rule because I don't know how Nick Sirianni does it in Philadelphia. I just don't think he's that great of a coach, but they win all the time because they just have so much talent. So there's exceptions to every rule.
Yeah.
But for every Philadelphia that seems to overcome that, but they also, I should say, it's not coaching, head coach. They've got exceptional assistants all around him.
That's why everybody hires him.
But he's like 30 games above 500. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. I kill the guy for not being a great coach, but his record says otherwise.
Yep.
But I'm not a fan. But but most of the time, just give me good coaching, and then they'll figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Because all these teams have some talent. You just put them in the right situations and see if they can be effective. Got a few things to get on the table. Also, the voting is in for the alternate jersey for the Islanders. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. 1-800-919-3776. Got the last call crew, and we got Anthony Pusick with an ENN coming up at 6 o'clock. Don and Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
And let me tell you more about Rings End, everybody, because Rings End is a company that I worked with on a project in my house, and I'll be continuing to work with them. Listen, I trust them. My contractor, Michael Weldon, trusts them. Your contractor will, and you can too. Why? Well, because they are a regional company, all right? So they know the Northeast well. They've been around for 124 years. It's not some national chain that doesn't really know who you are or the area they're serving. They know the Northeast, and they have 8 full-service lumber yards in Connecticut and Westchester County and 12 freestanding paint centers as well. So why do the paint centers matter to you? Well, we're going into the fall soon, but this is now the time you start preparing for getting your house ready for the holidays, for various holidays, of course. And, if you have people over and maybe, things have gotten kind of a little messy since the summer. You've been home, the kids have been home, the walls are getting banged up. Maybe things are just starting to look stale. The easiest thing to do to update or upgrade your home, especially before the holidays, is just a simple put some paint on the wall. Well, Rings End has that and more. They work with Benjamin Moore. And Benjamin Moore, to me, is like the best paint you could work with. They have a million different colors. And there's some, obviously some great colors that you could choose for your home. So if you do your own research, by the way, not only do you can go to their paint centers and pick out paint and look at the chips and all that, but if you know the color you want, if you already have, like, this is the colors I want to work with, you can order the paint online. Did you know that? That's right. You can go to ringsend.com and you can say, these are the paint colors I want, and they will ship you to your house. You don't have to go anywhere. The paint. You can get your primer. You can get whatever type of paint you want. Eggshell, satin, semi-gloss, all the different types of shades that you could get. And you could have it sent to your house. And you could have your weekend of paint the walls, paint the room, and be done. And by Monday, you're like, it's a whole new room. So if you don't have a major project, but maybe just want to get some painting done, Rings End could be there for you as well. So again, check them out at ringsend.com. That's ringsend.com.
When care matters most, experience matters more. The Allure Group is redefining rehabilitation and long-term care across New York with 6 convenient locations. Their expert clinicians create personalized care plans to help you recover, rebuild, and get back to what matters most. From short-term rehab to long-term care, Allure is committed to comfort, dignity, and results. To learn more, visit allurecare.com. The Allure Group, where care meets compassion.
Monkey Sports, built by players for players, is your one-stop shop for hockey, baseball, lacrosse, and more. Find top-name equipment and expert in-store services like sharpening, break-ins, and relacing. Shop in-store at Monkey Sports in Farmingdale or Woodbridge, or online for all the top brands. Whatever your sports, Monkey Sports gets you game ready fast. Monkey Sports, where athletes shop.
Right now, police are stepping up patrols to make sure drivers and pedestrians obey our crosswalk laws. Why? Because every year in New York, people are injured or killed just crossing the street. So remember, pedestrians, obey traffic signals and use crosswalks. And drivers, yield to pedestrians in crosswalks. If you don't, we will educate you on the law. And you may get a ticket, because tickets get attention, and that saves lives. A message from the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Hey, Yankees fans! Join us at Yankee Stadium on Friday, August 21st, as the Yankees take on the Toronto Blue Jays. And don't miss Cody Bellinger Bobblehead Night, presented by T-Mobile. The first 18,000 guests through the gates will take home an exclusive Cody Bellinger bobblehead. Get here early, grab the giveaway, and cheer on the Bronx Bombers. Tickets are available now at yankees.com/tickets.
Cars for Kids, K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids, 1-877 Cars for Kids, donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids, K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids, 1-877 Cars for Kids, donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to cars4kids.org now, or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids, K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids, 1-877 Cars for Kids, donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks, guys. We're in rough shape on the Grand Central westbound in Queens. A big crash by LaGuardia blocking 2 lanes. Slow crawl as you make your way over to the Triborough Bridge, backed up to Northern Boulevard and City Field. We've got the Yanks home tonight in the Bronx, still in great shape over at the inbound George, maybe about 5 to 10 for the upper deck. Deegan just packed both up and down, heading over to the stadium with the volume for the outbound George. Northbound especially tough. You're solid from the Triborough and the Bruckner. Outbound Lincoln, your best ride at 20 to 30. Outbound Hahn, run you a half hour plus. Big concert tonight over at MetLife Stadium in the Meadowlands. Heavy ride on the Western Spurs southbound approaching Route 3. This report is sponsored by the Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports? Well, the PCA can help. It's a national nonprofit developing better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. More info at positivecoach.org. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
Progressive presents the Passionate Sports Fan Checklist. Signed jersey of your favorite bench warmer? Check. 14 bobbleheads that look nothing like the players they're emulating? Check. Twin TVs so you can watch the game on 2 different networks simultaneously? Check. Life-size wall sticker of your favorite player that routinely freaks you out at night? Check. A second life-size wall sticker so after the first one freaks you out, you see the second and you're like, oh right, the wall stickers. Check and mate. Bundle your renters and auto insurance with Progressive and save on protection for the things on your checklist. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers not available in all states or situations covered subject to policy terms.
In a contracting business, you're either growing or you're grinding. Success is no longer about hard work alone. It's about using AI to accelerate impact. Service Titan is the only integrated intelligence that seamlessly automates your entire workflow, from first call to final invoice. Born in the trades, built for visionaries ready to stop operating and start automating. Service Titan, AI for the trades.
So it's the anniversary of the Black Album, right, Anthony? So
that's what I was told today.
So we must be looking at 35 years? When did that come out? Was it 91?
You are correct, sir.
Yeah, that's 91. I'm trying to find it right behind me.
35. Damn. I love this song. A lot of people got mad at Metallica, like that this was like a slow song. Stop it. Stop yourself. There's a lot of great slow metal songs.
Of course.
That's a really, really good album. The Black Album.
I
which
have
like,
it here somewhere. I just can't locate it right now.
Rivals the White Album. A lot of really good songs on that, except the one song that I'll never listen to again.
Enter Sandman.
It's gross. It's such a poor representation of the band.
Off to Never Neverland.
And then, like, the funny thing, like, I remember having an argument with, of all people, Scott Gomez.
Oh wow!
You can throw the
Scotty
drop
Go-Go.
out. And
I drive a Dodge Stratus.
That's a very good use of drop right there.
And he loved that song. And this just shows you this has to be early 2000s. So this is after they won the Cup in 2003. So it's like this is a conversation probably around that time, where he's like, "Oh yeah, you old school guys don't like," and I'm like, "Old school." Then I thought about it. Yeah, like because he probably he's not listening to Master of Puppets or Ride the Lightning or Kill 'Em All.
Right.
But I don't know. Never. It's just stupid. And the only reason people like that is because of Mo. And I get it. If I'm a Yankee fan, you'd love that.
Before Mo Rivera, that was a massive hit.
But I don't think it's a good song.
That's fair. I feel like I think the drum beat is really what drives that song. There's really nothing else about that song that is compelling other than just that drum beat is just a driving that's just a driving massive drum beat.
Now
it thumps, man. Like it's hard not to just feel adrenaline when you hear that song.
It's all. I just think it's corny.
It's fine,
but but that's Here's my thing.
Yep.
Is that I just like the real aggressive, like like creepy, like die.
I like the speed metal, yeah.
I just I like a battery.
Yeah, I know.
Like it's got to drive. I don't need any hooks or anything. Just drive right through the damn wall. Like if Metal was a
right
running
through the
back,
wall.
it'd be like just everybody would just
It would
just
be
plow
Bo
through.
Jackson and Tecmo Bowl.
Didn't need a hole, just like plow right through.
That's literally that Metal is Bo Jackson and Tecmo Bowl.
Did you ever have an album that you absolutely love and adore, but didn't like it the first time you heard it?
Oh, great question.
Because for me, it's Injustice for All, which was the album before, and
wow,
I didn't like it. I was like, and I was working at WRPR, and the Beast is Unleashed, a heavy metal radio station, and Dyer's Eve, which was one of the last songs on the album, I liked that song. But I didn't like it, but it grew on me, and now it's like one of my favorites. But at the time when I first heard it, it just didn't hit. So I was wondering, is that a thing? Is there anybody else that could experience, like, will you truly love an album, but the first time you heard it, you're like,
You know what? I'll show you the album that first time I heard it, I'm like, this sucks.
Okay.
And it's one of my favorite bands of all time. And the more, because I liked the band so much, the more I listened, then I just got into it, and then because it changes its sound once you get used to this sound. And it's this one.
Van Halen.
And you know why?
Because of Sammy.
It's Sammy, and it's new, and it was different, and it was like the first songs that came out was like Love Walks In, you know? Why can't this be love? Like the songs that you're like, what is this? Like, what is this? I just 1984
because Van Halen,
had
there was
bangers on, and you're giving me this, but it took a minute.
But if you
And then
listen to
Inside was
1984, which was, I guess, the last album.
The last album they made, yeah.
They were starting to.
The synthesizers came in, but
get
Jump still
to-
had
'cause
like
Jump-
pop to
I
it.
hated
Panama.
Jump.
No, Jump I get, but Panama though.
No, Panama's good.
Fast as hell.
And you know, Hot for Teacher, like
Yep.
those are good songs.
Yes.
But I've told this story. It's December 31st, 1983. It's New Year's Eve, going into 1984.
Mm-hmm.
MTV
at its biggest
was
moments.
debuting Jump, the video.
Yep.
And I couldn't wait because I was the biggest Van Halen fan, and I couldn't wait for 1984 to come out. I loved the Diver Down.
Sure.
It's not my favorite, but I did love it. I think Women and Children First.
Women
and
and
Fair
Children
Warning,
First
those
is
are
their
the two.
best.
That's when they
those
were
are their
like
best.
their
Fair
heaviest,
Warning.
right?
Yep.
So they played a video, and the first thing you hear is the synthesizer.
Mm-hmm.
And my first thought was, well, listen, Eddie's so good. He probably is making his guitar sound like a synthesizer. And then I see him at the synthesizer. I was so disgusted.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, man. But like I said, there's good songs on that album. But they started to progress more towards pop during that album. So if David had stayed, considering what David Lee Roth became as a solo artist, they probably would have sounded the same. They probably would have gone in that pop genre. It certainly worked for them. There were more hits on those albums with Sammy than any of the ones with David Lee
They were
Roth.
more mainstream then, but
They
the
were way
sound
more mainstream.
the
Way more
sound
mainstream.
that drew me in, of course, was what the sound that you were talking about, a little more of a grungier rock in the early 80s.
Now, the other time was with Judas Priest.
Okay.
Judas Priest comes out with Turbo Lover. And I'm like, not loving the name of the album, but hey, it's Judas Priest. And they were like my favorite band then too. And their last album before Turbo Lover, I believe, was Defenders of the Faith. So it was a good album, right? Screaming for Vengeance, Defenders of the Faith, and then here comes Turbo Lover. I went to the Willowbrook Mall, Sam
Goody, baby. Yes.
The cassette player, driving out of the parking lot. I hear Turbo Lover. I eject the cassette, put it back into the cover, roll the window down, and smashed it on the parking lot ground. So that's how disgusted I was with that album. I'm your Turbo Lover.
Oh my God, that sounds difficult.
Tell me there's no other. It's like Ethel Merman all of a sudden was the lead singer of the band. All right, so on this note, the voting is started at noon for the Islanders' third jersey.
Okay.
And I voted. I put my vote in.
Oh, what did you got to tell me.
All right, I voted for the ones that I told you. I voted for all the blue.
Yep, good.
And there were two blues. I voted for the one that says Isles.
The non-rugby style.
The non-rugby one.
Now,
yeah.
It looks like at least early voting here.
As of 4:30.
As of 4:30.
But judging by the numbers, it looks to me like orange is out. So all the orange ones are getting crushed.
Yeah.
Like the Lighthouse, only 24.4%. On the NY one, only 38.1%. On the Fish Sticks, 32.7%.
Yeah.
Now, the one I like, it says Isles. The rugby one's up 62.2%.
The rugby one's also blue, by the way. There's no
Right.
orange in those choices.
No orange. So, but it looks like, at least it looks like all the orange is out.
Yep.
So if voting holds, I guess it'll be the rugby versus the blue NY and the blue Lighthouse versus the blue Fish Sticks. That's the way it looks like to me.
It looks like rugby versus Fish Sticks. And then Lighthouse, right? Isn't that
Not,
separate
not
brackets?
according to the graph.
No, the graph sounds like it's running horizontal, not
Okay,
vertical.
all right, my bad. Okay.
Right, Anthony?
That's the way I interpret
that's
it.
the way I'm
So the
looking
Lighthouse and the Fish Sticks are going to go against each other when they're both from the same kind of era.
Yeah.
Turf war.
I don't hate it because
But
the Lighthouse really was, from the very beginning of this thing, the thing everybody went to.
Right.
And the Fish Sticks thing, as I already spoke about this yesterday, and Anthony Reber did something with me on Newsday as well about it because I feel so strongly about it. This Fish Sticks thing has got to die. Like it's got to die. And I know that the Lighthouse logo came from that jersey. It was on the shoulder patch. So I'm fine to make that compromise if people feel like that jersey and the color schemes, which included teal, by the way. Teal was, remember, in the 90s, everybody wanted to put teal in their jerseys all of a sudden.
Well, because there was so much success with the Sharks, right?
Yes, right, exactly. So that's why, like this. All right, so if you want to have that silly wave jersey with the teal in it, do the Lighthouse, and we're all everybody. We can all walk away happy. But the Fisherman guy, it opens up an old
Stan
wound.
Fischler.
My good friend Stan Fischler, our good friend Stan Fischler, God bless him. It just brings back too many bad memories, and I made a case. There's a whole, again, younger people that weren't around for it, you're looking at it as nostalgia, and somebody was like trying to talk about how it's like, it's a throwback, and everybody loves throw. And I'm like, you don't want to honor that era.
Don't want to do it.
It almost killed the franchise, that era.
It almost did. And, but unfortunately, our friend, Rick DiPietro, of course, DiPietro and Rothenberg, Dan Grassa filling in for Dave this week. Rick disagrees. Apparently, he loves the fish stick jersey.
I do like the idea of having the Fisherman.
You like
I know
that,
it wasn't
huh?
I know it wasn't a great time because it was a fish sticks thing, but I don't love the other ones. When you're as bad as we were at the time, anything you do is going to be judged and ridiculed. Buffalo right now with this new Bills uniform, they look like a can of Diet Pepsi. It won't matter if they win.
Well, he's right about that part.
No,
it doesn't matter if you win, then everybody loves it, right? I get it, but there's the choices. Are the choices like great? They're fine. They were limited. First of all, let me explain to everybody too. The reason why these are the choices is because there's only so far they could have gone for a third jersey. They couldn't leave it up to everyone's imagination because Fanatics needed to have some type of a foundation of, all right, well, what is going to be on this jersey? Because when you guys announce it, we now have to make these things.
Yeah, but again, it's not until 27, 28, so
No,
they
no,
do
I know,
have
but
time.
but still,
Right.
as you know, it's not like they're not going to go to the press and push these things out in a month. This takes time. So that's one thing you got to keep in mind is they were very limited to what they could use as a template. And so these were the obvious templates to go with. And this is what people came up with.
Now, we had somebody tweeted me last night about, like, they get everything that we're saying about the jerseys and how bad they were back then and all that, but he's a big Zygmunt Palffy fan, and here it is. It was Nate. He says, I'm right with you on the fish stick uni, but somehow it's one of my faves on the list. It does remind me of Ziggy, who I loved. I mean, so it's nostalgic for some fans because there's certain players they like, or maybe that's when they fell in love with the team. Like, hey, listen, I fell in love with the Giants when they were awful. I fell in love with the Mets when they were awful. I fell in love with the Devils when they were awful.
Understood.
So there is something nostalgic about that. But what Alan's trying to tell you, it's not just that they were bad. They were historic business malfunction. I mean, their owner went to prison. They were flying commercial when it was standard that you flew on charters. They were moving to Kansas City. It was over. They were done.
Over. They were gone.
So it wasn't just a bad season. They were an embarrassment of a franchise in every way, shape, or form. This once proud franchise was maybe one of the great drop-offs in the history of sports. To go from 4 straight Stanley Cups to be the gold standard that had tons of Hall of Famers to all of a sudden just being a joke.
Don, in '93, they were in the Final Four.
Yeah, that was a great run.
And then the next year they got swept.
Right. With
and then
Hextall
after
and
that,
goal.
they went 8 years without even sniffing the playoffs.
But I think some of the fans, especially the younger fans, are just thinking, "Oh, we were bad." A lot of teams are bad, but it was beyond just being bad.
So, again, a lot of the younger fans were coming at me today because I had made the case, and I love it. By the way, first and foremost, you can't take like the old man getting angry about stuff as I hate everyone. No, I love the fact that young fans are passionate for this franchise. It means a lot to me because of what this franchise means to Long Island. So I'm all for it, and I love it. But to tell me about history when I was literally there as either an intern or a beat writer, like I was there for all this stuff. So you can't say, well, in the other logo, they had some bad years too. Listen, kids, there's bad years,
right,
which was the first 2 seasons, especially the first year in franchise history. It was god-awful. They were so bad, but they were an expansion team. I mean, you expect to be bad in your first year's expansion. And within 5 years, they were a playoff team. So that's one thing. And there's also, were there bad years where they just weren't very good? Was there times even in the past 25 years where they've just, they weren't competitive? And you remember that 20-something game stretch they went where they didn't have a regulation win or whatever it was. Like, I understand. Those are different things. What happened from 1995 to 1999 that I was front and center to see, you got to understand, it might be in the history of professional sports in the U.S., it might be one of the worst 5-year runs you could ever have and not dissolve as a franchise or move. It's like to survive that is incredible. And this logo represents a lot of that.
There's a conspiracy theory out there that the only reason they're still on the island is because Gary Bettman grew up an Islander fan.
And Charles Wong saved this franchise.
Yeah, and I think that's what
they
made
convinced him to buy in
to try to get. Because
I give Gary credit because I give Gary credit because I know that was a big part of it too. Is Gary would not give up on this thing,
right? And you know what?
And
the reason
Spano thing infuriated him
is because look what they did with Phoenix. I think Gary didn't want to see any team move or dissolve or like he would fight, and it was worth the fight for sure, but. Could I believe that maybe there was a little extra behind it because he grew up an Islander fan? It's possible. Last call, crew, 1-800-919-3776. Then ENN at 6. Don on Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
Mornings with DiPietro and Rothenberg.
Buster only joins us. Who is a team in the American League right now that should scare Yankees fans a little bit?
All of them. There's so much parity in the American League, it's kind of crazy. So if you told me that the Yankees reached the World Series, I wouldn't be shocked. And if you told me they got knocked out in the first round, that wouldn't shock me either. I don't think they have any idea what they're going to get out of Judge and Stan the rest of the year. Like none.
DiPietro and Rothenberg, morning 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
There are a million reasons to love New York. Making your budget stretch isn't one of them. According to an independent study, Amazon prices average 14% lower than other retailers. Get food, fashion, furniture, and more shipped straight to your building. Plus, another study found Amazon Prescription Pass customers pay nearly 1/3 less out of pocket. Learn more at aboutamazon.com.
There you were, surrounded by fans. Everybody remembers the game. Nobody remembers the guy coughing behind you. Till a few days later, at 2 a.m., you wake up with a fever and your throat's on fire. Now what? Urgent care? Closed. ER? Slammed. Telehealth? Maybe, but the pharmacy's closed. You needed a medical emergency kit. These aren't first aid kits. They contain essential prescriptions used for over 30 common conditions: sinus and ear infection, UTIs, stomach bugs, traveler's diarrhea, and more on hand before you need them. Use your doctor-developed guidebook to select the right prescription or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's like an urgent care and drugstore at home. When you're sick, traveling, or stranded, you'll wish you'd ordered a medical emergency kit. Order online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
This is Carlin on ESPN New York.
Jeff Passan is with us, WWE guy. Where are you on Danhausen?
It's I, Danhausen, here with great news. You're still cursed.
Entertaining, annoying. Your thoughts?
I think you can be both at the same time.
And that's brilliant. And that's how I've made a career.
Chris Carlin, weekdays at 10 a.m. on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Hey, it's Wendy here. Are you looking to rebound from your high-interest credit card debt? A SoFi personal loan could help. Consolidate your debt with a SoFi personal loan into one low monthly payment, and you could save money on interest over time. And with as soon as the same day funding, you could hit the ground running ASAP. Apply today with no fees required at SoFi.com/debt rebound. Loans originated by SoFi Bank. NA member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891. Fast funds terms apply at SoFi.com/debt rebound.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Don on Rosenberg up until 6:30. Then it's the Mets and the Braves. ENN coming up at 6. Last call crew, 1-800-919-3776. Let's talk to Chris in Barnegat. You're on ESPN New York. Hi, Chris.
Hey, guys. How are we?
Good. Good.
So, Alan, actually, I just thought of this on the phone. I wanted to call last week about your list. I think you missed one, and it's kind of tough. And it leads into one that you had on your list. I kind of think Giancarlo Stanton might be one of his biggest misses, Brian Cashman, because that led to the Yankees not going after Bryce Harper, which was on your list, and then obviously all the injuries, and who knows, we missed so many other people because of his big contract.
Yeah, but I get. Yeah, that was a list we could have gone to about 20, right?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. I went with Harper because it led them to getting Stanton as like a reaction, but you're right.
And then today, the list, Don, I wanted to talk. I kind of feel like Kyrie Irving might be on the list, and you got to think about it because we talked about him so much during that time, and it's the Nets. I mean, I'm a Nets fan, and we don't have a lot of fans in the city, so you guys were talking about the Nets every single day with Kyrie Irving, and I just feel like he might have been on that list. I think that's one you missed.
Honorable mention.
Yeah, well, definitely an honorable mention. We talked about him a lot. It was a short period of time compared to the other guys that were here for years, but there was a period with between getting him, the super team aspect, the whole vaccine thing. It was a big, major topic of conversation. Personally, Chris, and it's not a bad call, and I'm getting nostalgic about the 25th anniversary. I think it killed us. I think it really hurt the K show that we spent so much time talking about Kyrie because it got political. I don't think there was as much interest in the Nets as maybe we thought, because we thought super team. I think we talked. I think the fact that we talked so much Kyrie really ended up hurting us in the end.
You think it turned people off?
I think it turned people off. Yeah, because listen, we had no idea in defense. A lot of it's in the news now with Fauci and everything. It's like we were in the moment, and in that moment, it's easy to look back and go, "Oh, well, what the hell were we thinking?" A lot of things change. In that moment, it seemed like the right thing to do, but looking back at it, it ended up not being because it was so polarizing, and I just didn't think at the end of the day it was worth it because even though the Nets were good and even though they were a super team. I don't think there were that many people that were interested in it. It's a Knick town. We found that out. Obviously, we knew that going in. That like the Knick fans were like, I don't want to talk about Kyrie. What do I care about the Nets? So
that's one of those things in sports talk radio where we allow the callers and the idea that there were people that called to talk about it. We allowed that to represent. Like I always thought Nielsen. I think it's a joke that. One person with a meter represents 1,000 or whatever it is people, it's insane. So to say that, 4 callers represents what the entire audience wants or how they feel was also, I think, a misguided thing that a lot of us went through back then.
And we were on
it was
Yes.
a different time.
Yes, we're the home of the Nets. So there was a lot that went into it. But it was probably, moments we'd like to have back for sure. Alex in Lynbrook, you're on ESPN New York.
Hi, Donnie. I usually call you about hockey, so two-part question, then I'll hang up with you. Last time I called the Rangers getting Pavlov from the Golden Knights. If you were the GM, would you have done the same thing? And plus, I'd like to know, your opinion about the 3 local teams. Are they, you were the GM, are they going the right direction, or you feel they're making the right choices, or you feel they need to be doing something else? Thanks, Donnie. Take care.
I think all 3 teams are moving in the right direction. I think the Rangers have the right coach. It's just a matter of getting everything together. It's going to take a long time to rebuild that situation there with the Rangers. Islanders, same thing. Great goaltending. They just need to get some scoring.
They can't attract anybody right now. It's tough for them.
It's tough in the state that they're in to do that. Mm-hmm. And I think Sonny's doing a great job with the Devils. I think he did the right thing with the goaltending. Goaltending is like running backs in the NFL now. Are you willing to pay that much money? He got out of the Markstrom thing. We'll see if Dawes and Allen can hold it together. And now it's just a matter of everybody playing to the back of their hockey card. But I do think that I'm a Drury guy. I know a lot of Ranger fans are not. But I think there's good leadership with all 3 teams. I think they're moving in the right direction. It just there's a lot of work to be done, and it's really hard to make the playoffs now in hockey. It just is. And the current format now, if you're not one of the top 3 teams in your division, there's a lot of teams all going for 2 spots, right? If the Devils, Islanders, and Rangers do not get one of those 3 spots at the top of the Metropolitan Division, they're battling literally with the rest of the conference for 2 spots. And that's hard. That's really, really hard to do. They're lucky because I think the Atlantic's a lot tougher because Florida's going to be back. Lightning aren't going anywhere.
Carolina.
Right? And Carolina in the Metro, but in the Atlantic with the top 3 teams, those are the top 3. And now all those other teams are all battling for just 2 spots. So Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, the Devils, the Islanders, the Rangers. Then you throw the Red Wings into the conversation. Buffalo won the division last year. Are they going to do it again? If Buffalo does, then Montreal now could be a wild card. Where's Boston? Do they take a step? There's just not a lot of spots.
No.
It's not like the old days where 16 of 21 teams made the playoffs. It's hard to make the playoffs now.
Yeah. I completely. I was thinking more East when we were going through the teams, but it's also the setup of it's the structure of the playoffs as well that I think makes it a lot harder. But
yeah,
listen,
it was a great pickup for the Rangers. He's going to be great on the power play. That was a nice pickup by Drury.
Drury has to, though. This is a big year for him. He's got to start showing some progress, right? He's got to have some hits. You know what I mean? That's really what it is with him. I think this year is to convince people that Anthony's told us for how many years that the Rangers and that core, they went as far as they were going to go. And you were going to have to move on from it. You had to move on from it. But it's hard to move on from something that had some success and not you can't go immediately into the next era with great success right away. You go through that lull and you got to build it back up. But this is a year you've got to show progress. Yeah. You've got to show, okay, this thing's now headed back in the right direction.
But, again, who's not making it? There's so many good teams right now in the NHL. It's going to be very, very difficult to make the playoffs. And then with the Devils, just health. If Jack's healthy and Luke stays healthy, they're a playoff team.
Yes, they are.
It's difficult to get all those guys to stay healthy. Anthony Pusic's healthy, and he's got ENN, and it's coming up next on ESPN New York.
When care matters most, experience matters more. The Allure Group is redefining rehabilitation and long-term care across New York with 6 convenient locations. Their expert clinicians create personalized care plans to help you recover, rebuild, and get back to what matters most. From short-term rehab to long-term care, Allure is committed to comfort, dignity, and results. To learn more, visit allurecare.com. The Allure Group, where care meets compassion.
When you manage an active facility, disruption is not an option. Tricon Construction specializes in healthcare, commercial, and industrial environments where work needs to happen without shutting operations down. That takes detailed planning, clear communication, and safe, disciplined execution. Because when patients are inside, tenants are working, or production has to keep moving, every decision matters. Tricon understands how to work around your business professionally, safely, and efficiently. For complex work inside active facilities, choose Tricon Construction. Visit triconbuilds.com. That's triconbuilds.com.
Hi, this is Don LaGreca. Just like the New Jersey Devils bring intensity on the ice, Viking Pest Control brings the same level of protection to your home. And I know because I use Viking at my own place. The season may be over, but pests are always in play. So it's time to lock in your off-season defense. As the pest control provider and proud partner of the Devils, Viking delivers 45 years of trusted experience to keep ants, cockroaches, stinging insects, rodents, mosquitoes, and more out of your zone. And when you bundle pest control mosquito services, you score big savings. One call, one company, total peace of mind. Visit VikingPest.com, protecting your home inside and out.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks a million, guys. I hope you have an awesome rest of the night. We've got the Yanks home in the Bronx. First pitch just a little over an hour away. Looking good at the inbound, George. Upper deck, just about a 5 to 10 minute ride. Deegan slammed in both directions, heading over to the stadium with the volume for the outbound, George. Southbound, stop and go from the Moshlu on down. Northbound said a slow crawl from the Triborough and the Bruckner. Outbound Lincoln Arena about 20 to 25 minutes. Outbound Hahn a half hour plus. Still have this crash on the Grand Central westbound in Queens. Left lane out by LaGuardia. Not moving much there from Northern Boulevard and City Field. Packed ride on the Belts eastbound heading over to JFK. Solid pockets of slowdowns from the Verrazano in Brooklyn on through. Big concert tonight in Jersey over at MetLife Stadium. Heavy ride on Route 3 westbound heading into the Meadowlands from the Eastern Spur. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
Harry Douglas here to tell you about Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots.
It's a fruity candy flavor explosion, and I mean explosion. Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots, a zero-sugar treat that's sweet tooth approved. These can take care of my candy cravings and provides a tasty caffeine kick without all the sugar. Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots. Get candy-flavored chaos with Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots, available online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world is noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins Aeroburst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of Aeroburst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
ESPN New York is your home for the world champion New York Knicks. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. This is an ENN special report. Now reporting.
The very handsome Jewish man, Peter Rosenberg.
We should talk some sports. Do what you want. It's ENN. That's right. It's time now for ENN, brought to you by Boost Mobile. Filling in for the vacationing Peter Rosenberg is Anthony Pusick.
Oh, hi, guys. How we doing?
How are you? Look at you. You're staying in your own little studio.
In the control room with Jacob. We're just hanging out. You know, studio's a little lonely today.
Oh.
The lonely Lombardi.
The lonely Lombardi.
Aaron Rodgers.
Get your boys lunch tomorrow.
But you know what? It's best that we start with good evening. So why don't we say good evening to Don?
Died.
You never know what you can get on this show. Don?
I'm your turbo lover.
Isn't that
The
nice?
fact that you said Ethel Merman. It's such a great reference because it's what you sound like.
Oh, man.
Everything's coming up roses.
It's exactly what I was thinking.
This has been a fun show. Alan, how about you?
This fish sticks thing has got to die.
Just sounds like you're against fish sticks in general.
I just all of it. Die.
I'm sure Gorton's makes a fantastic product.
That's nice, but they don't play hockey.
Starbies. Starbies. I admit that was high-pitched Alan talking about Starbucks there, Don. They call it the kids call it Starbies.
The girls call it Starbies.
Starbies?
Starbies.
Yeah, you'll see.
I don't think we'll be doing that.
Is Nancy a big Starbies consumer?
She doesn't drink coffee.
No, okay.
Good for her.
Yeah, very good for her. On my side, it's we might as well just own stock in it.
You can, technically.
We might as well, though.
Hey, guys. Well, when we had the Starbucks downstairs at our old studios, we were investing. It was a daily investment.
You were a consumer. You guys would get on me because I'd have to get.
You guys want to part? Here's how that would go. You guys want to partake? Who got it last time?
Yeah, it was.
No, you got it. No, I think I got it. Well, either way, you want something, Michael? You want anything? No.
I had an app for a while because it was a thing with this
I
show.
got it out of there. We found out that I didn't even know what matcha was until
the matcha tea. I've tried them. I can't do that. Good for Alan. He's healthy and all that. I can't do the matcha.
But I'll tell you what, you fly, baby. You.
I get it.
Try it once.
I get it. Rick, I think Bauer actually gets Rick his coffee in the morning.
Of course he does.
When he comes in.
It's nice.
It's because the Starbucks is right on the corner. There's a Dunkin' not far away. It closes at 4. I don't love that.
If we tried that with somebody, HR would be calling us. Rick does it, and everybody's like, yeah, that's a great idea.
Well, because it's not like an ask. At this point, Tom's like, hey, I'm getting a coffee. Do you want anything? Which is it's a nice thing to do when you know who's in the studio.
Yeah.
Wait. Did you say the Dunkin' closes at 4?
The Dunkin' near us closes like 4:30.
Every Dunkin' should be open 24 hours.
Well,
24 hours.
Especially now that it's so close to the new Disney building, you would think that, now the times have changed, you'd think you keep the Dunkin' open a little later. Either way, be that as it may, I digress. We did get some sad news today for a friend of the show. Andrew Marchand put out an article in The Athletic that Damian Woody, after 15 years, is no longer with ESPN. Damian posted on Twitter, still processing it all, but I want to thank all of my colleagues at ESPN who made it a joy to talk ball for 15 years. Being a guy who had a serious speech impediment to working on TV was truly one of my proudest accomplishments. Looking forward to what God has in store for me next. Obviously, Damian was a regular on this show last year. He was a weekly, and we'll certainly miss him. That stinks.
I love D-Wood. I've known him for years. Again, loved having him on each week because he's equal parts entertaining yet informative. He cares about the game. He was a Patriot. Yes, won a Super Bowl with them, but he was a very proud Jet as well. And the Jets meant something to him when talking about them. And I love that about him. So, he's a friend. He's an Islander fan.
Yeah.
See him a lot at Islander games. And I just hate, like, we lose him, lose Bart. Like, I hate that stuff.
Yeah, I was because I thought the layoffs were over. I don't know. Maybe he was late to let everybody know about it or whatever. But I was taken aback, but I wasn't ready for it. I was bracing myself, knowing that there were going to be people that were going to be gone, and then I thought the wave was over.
Yeah.
And listen, Damian and I go way back to when he was a player, and I was doing Jets pre and post, and then when he retired, he would come on, and they would also on Jets game day at MetLife, when they had us outside, right next to us, they would have alumni do autograph sessions. So sometimes he would be part of the alumni, and he'd come over and say hello. And he was just such a great guy, very prepared, always a great interview, just a great guy. So I'm sure he'll land on his feet, and I'm sure he'll find a place that will benefit from having him. But we're going to miss him. Hopefully we can still get him on if he wants to do that.
Yeah.
I can understand if he didn't. But he still owes us a Napoleon Dynamite. We still have not.
I just don't. I'm going to tell you right now.
I
had it at a 0% chance it's happening. I don't think that's happening. I don't think it's happening. We'll have him on again. I think we'd have him on again. I don't think he'll give you.
No, I think we'd have him on again. I just don't know if he'd want to come on.
Right. And it's certainly not going to be to review Napoleon Dynamite. This is important. Go to a little bit of a positive here. As you guys remember from yesterday, Jets cornerback Quantez Stiggers collapsed at joint practice with the Bucs. Aaron Glenn said earlier today he's doing well. He did enter the NFL's concussion protocol after displaying symptoms yesterday, but Glenn said he spoke to him a good amount last night, and he's doing well. And he talked to his wife, and she's taking good care of him, so happy about that. He was released from the hospital, and he is now home, so that is great news for him. Because we didn't know what was going on there. Now we do.
No one did. It was a lot of uncertainty. At some point, I think during the day, most of the writers, because they weren't close enough to the field, had no idea what player it was, even until they found out after the fact. So there was a lot of mystery surrounding it.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's good news, and we hope that he heals up quickly for the Jets. This was big news today. The Lakers sold again. Yes. They were sold last year, or at least the controlling arm of it was sold. Well, sold again to Josh Kushner, brother of Jared, and former Disney CEO Bob Iger for the low price, a bargain basement price if you ask me, probably on Klarna, $12.5 billion with a B dollars.
Wow.
Multiple sources tell ESPN a record-breaking price.
That MSG stock just went up, baby.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
That is...
Well, it's interesting. And then this is on the heels of finding out that Dallas Cowboys are the most valued franchise in professional sports at $15.5 billion.
Yeah.
And again, this is all what you can get. I mean, Michael always talked about if the Yankees were to sell, it would probably be for even higher than that, but that's the value of the franchise.
So I believe that the story goes... Now, of course, we talked about the Apollo Group yesterday? Is that the name? That bought stock and debt in the Yankees.
Yeah, bought into the Yankees.
The valuation that they went off of was a $10 billion valuation.
Okay.
So at the very least, the Yankees are worth $10 billion. But that is that's quite the number. Quite the number for the Lakers, and very
tomorrow.
interesting.
There's a conversation to be had here, Donnie. About all this stuff with the Yankees. We should do.
Well, I find it very difficult to believe that the Lakers are $2 billion more than the Yankees. Maybe the Cowboys being worth more because it's football and all that goes into that. But let's say
there's
this.
There's also though operating expenses and operating income and everything else that goes with the value.
No, it's true. And also,
there's some things to learn here.
And also, Alan, I don't know how you could accurately evaluate a baseball franchise right now, not knowing what the CBA is going to be.
I think there's that, but how many? Go ahead.
No, because if there's a salary cap, let's just face it, the franchise will be worth more. If the Yankees have to spend $50 million less in payroll, the franchise would be worth more.
Mm-hmm.
And you're also more attractive to sell. Why would I want to buy a baseball team right now not knowing how much I'm going to have to pay in salary?
Yeah. Yeah, I understand all that, right? The uncertainty of the future, especially not having a season, all that stuff does matter, but I don't think it takes away from the value of the franchise.
Also, selling a part is different than selling the whole thing.
Of course.
Because if you're saying, hey, listen, this is what we're going to value it at, we're going to say that we're worth around $10 billion. You put it up for sale and say, everybody go bid.
But
the Yankees could get more
than $10 billion. But they had to do that because Apollo, I think, was only allowed to purchase 15%.
Right. That's right.
They had to come up with a value.
Yes, of course.
But I'm sure. Listen, it's all. You know what you're worth, what somebody's willing to pay. So
exactly.
Yeah, Forbes could say you're worth $10 billion. There might be somebody out there that'll say I'll give you $20 billion for it, and that's automatically what now it's worth. I'm sure the Cowboys would sell for more than $15.5 billion. Because there's no way the Cowboys could be only $3.5 billion more than the Lakers.
Yeah, but
the Dallas Cowboys.
It's the value of your brand and obviously the value of it. But I also think baseball is a lot different than a lot of these other sports. But there is still something to be learned from Dallas, from the Cowboys, that it's the Yankees. I feel like there's something to be learned there.
It sounds like a tease for tomorrow.
It's a longer conversation to be had for sure. Because to even bring it up now, it wouldn't do it enough justice, and it would also sound like a soundbite that would turn into an ignorant statement, which is something that needs to be explained.
Yeah, we don't.
But there's just something I was reading today that made me say, like, there's something to be learned about how the Yankees. Don, you always say mom and pop, and it's very accurate. It's a very expensive mom and pop, but still.
No, of course, it's a very valuable mom and pop, but they're not dipping into some other well of money that other franchises can dip into.
Yes, but there's more to it. And again, how many Yankee fans are – I'm always one that tries to defend Hal Steinbrenner about this idea of him being cheap. Like, I think that's it's a stupid thing. I keep saying this. It's the guy spending the money is the problem, not the guy that's writing the check. But we'll discuss tomorrow. More in it.
Unfortunately, the Port Washington kids are having a tough time with the Darien kids at the Little League World Series in the Metro Regional Elimination Game. It is 6-1 Connecticut in the bottom of the third, with Connecticut up second and third with 2 outs.
Wouldn't it be amazing if they found out that the kids stopped putting the phones in the bucket and now all of a sudden they can't win games again?
Legit reading their press clippings. How do you like that?
Exactly. But still, I mean, good. They won the state championship first time in 63 years. So if they
it's pretty cool to go to the Little League World Series. I would imagine.
Still pat them on the back and celebrate them, and then Bayonne waiting to see. I guess if it's Darien, it's Darien, but Bayonne is there, so we'll keep an eye on all this stuff.
Russell Westbrook, after 18 seasons and 7 teams. 7 teams is crazy, by the way. I completely forgot that he bounced around so much.
Right.
Announced his retirement on social media earlier today. Sometimes you don't even know when you've already watched the end, Westbrook wrote on his post, which contained a video of his career narrated by Michael B. Jordan. You had to be there. And now
I wasn't expecting that.
So I wasn't either. And now it's over. 9-time All-Star, career averages of 20.9 points, of course, 6.9 rebounds and 8 assists per game, and holds the NBA record for most career triple-doubles with 209, surpassing Oscar Robertson's long-standing mark of 181 in 2021.
First ballot.
That is really what I remember him as, just a triple-double machine all those years in his prime and how great he was.
Yeah, first ballot.
Yeah, I would think so.
Not even a hesitation. Not even a hesitation.
Here is Kendrick Perkins on NBA Today about Russell Westbrook.
I mean, and listen, a lot of people, you could argue and debate in the barbershop or wherever you go about who was the most athletic point guard to ever play the game. Some people may say Derrick Rose. I say Russell Westbrook. And athleticism, yes, as far as his explosiveness to the basket, the way that he's able to push the rock, but also anything else he was able to do, the block shots, like those type of things. And when you think about him averaging a triple-double double in 4 seasons of his career. That has never been done. And Russell Westbrook, not only should he have his jersey retired in Oklahoma City, but he should have a statue out there as well, because after SGA, Russ in my eyes is the second greatest Thunder of all time.
More than Durant?
Because
Strong
Durant wasn't
statement
there
there.
long enough. Harden wasn't there long enough.
Right. But I'm telling you, you forget, because, towards the end of his career with Russ, like, things became, frustrating with him because he never really developed a consistent shot. So he really wasn't a great shooter. And again, as you get older, the guys that rely so much on athleticism, when it starts to go away, your game certainly changes. He wanted to play, by the way. No one was giving him a contract at this point. But when he was in his prime, there was no more ferocious player in the league than him.
But the one thing I'll say about the triple-double stuff, I really wonder if it was a thing back then. The Big O, Magic, if they wanted to, they could have gotten way more triple-doubles than they did. Westbrook knew it was a thing, and there were times, I think, that was his modus operandi in a given game.
He chased
to
down
get
rebounds.
it.
Yes.
Back in the day, it was just, I got to try. It wasn't a thing. It was pretty rare because I don't think players chased it back then. But I think, I'm not criticizing him for it, but I think Westbrook knew, hey, I'm a rebound shy of a triple-double. I'm going to go get one, where I don't think the guys that were capable of getting triple-doubles 20, 30, 40 years ago thought that way.
Guys, the reigning champion Knicks, not just of the NBA, but the NBA Cup, now know who they will be playing to try and get the reigning NBA Cup title. Those games were revealed today. The second marquee matchup for the Knicks and the Sixers will be on October 30th, the opening day of NBA Cup play, followed by the Lakers and the Warriors. All these games, of course, will air on ESPN, Prime Video, or NBC and Peacock. Do we think... I think the Knicks are obviously going to give every effort in every game they play. I'm not suggesting that. Do we think that the Cup is not really at top of mind this year for this team?
I think they might have hinted to it that because they know going to Vegas took something out of them.
Yeah.
That whole week when everybody else was off, they were going for it. They had to play Toronto and then obviously then go to Vegas, all the stuff that they had to do. I think there was a part of them that was like, okay, that was nice, but we're not going to do that again.
And this is not a cupcake schedule for them either, by the way.
Well,
Their group,
the East B group
is the Cavs, the Knicks, the Cavs, the Sixers, the Heat, and the Pacers.
That's the toughest group.
That's a beast.
That's not what you want.
Wow. Death. Oh, wow.
That's a lot of teams that definitely want to beat the Knicks, just in general.
You're all set?
Now, have we gotten...
You already got the trophy. You don't need another one.
Have we gotten any intel, Alan, on banner night? Will there be a cup banner that will go up alongside?
That is top secret, Don.
Top secret. That means
top
he knows.
Secret.
You know what, Don?
Yeah, that means he knows.
That means he knows, and you know what that also means? That we're not that close.
It's top secret information.
That's how I interpret it. You can interpret it how you want.
If we were at lunch and he said that, then I would feel like we're not that close.
Well, let's not give everything
We're not the only people
away.
listening to this ENN, so
No.
I think that was more for the benefit of the audience.
I'll tell you what I would do. I'd put it up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, listen, you're the first. Forget, of course, now that it's over, we can look back on it. When we were talking about it when that was the only thing they had won, we'd say, come on.
On December 19th, you weren't saying, put it up. Nobody wanted it.
You're the first team to win both in the same season.
No, but that's why you do it.
That's exactly why you do it.
Yeah.
You can't call it a treble because a treble, would, of course, in soccer is 3. I guess you can call it a double.
Well, wait a minute. So now, a lot of times when you win the NBA title, you don't hang the Eastern Conference Championship banner because it's implied.
Right.
This isn't implied.
I like I said, if it's me,
you want to call it a treble?
I'm hanging them all.
No, I was separate.
It's too bad they didn't win the Atlantic Division because I would have hung that one too.
Hey, no, I would hang the cup first, and then I would hang the actual championship banner.
There's nothing.
Wouldn't you put the smaller cup? Like that's a smaller banner, right? It can't be big.
It's just a baby banner.
Like it's just a little nice little. It's almost like the laundry line.
No, I don't know.
Where it's like there's Dad's T-shirt, then there's the baby's T-shirt.
But all
like
the banners, Rangers
like
and Knicks, are all uniform size.
They are.
Yes, they're
so
all
they
equal.
might all be the same size.
Okay.
There is not a less useful standing in any of the 4 major sports than the basketball divisions.
It really
I don't.
no longer matters.
I'm
true.
sure someone cares.
Winning the division has almost all it does is mean you can hang a banner.
You telling me that?
Nothing else.
Obviously, I knew that they of course the Knicks had their issues this year and they weren't the best in the division, but I didn't.
Well, you know who won the division.
That was Boston, right?
Yeah, who was the 2 seed? It was Boston.
Yeah. So that again,
matter.
that's
Like
I
doesn't
just
care.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
To
even
me,
guarantee anything.
it doesn't
So because
but I'm hanging everything because I'm petty like that.
Yeah, I get it.
But
that makes sense.
No, you hang everything.
All
but the
of
question is, do you have a song and the light and slowly bring it up
for each one? No, they all go
Here
up
is
together.
the conference, Eastern
they all go up
Conference
Tip-off time is
here is the cup banner.
8:56
Yeah, you know
PM.
why though? LeBron and his old ass will be sitting in the locker room like going, this thing's still going on?
We got to be out for opening day, right, boys?
Oh, no.
Oh, no, I thought that was a given.
Opening night?
I'm at Stout. Whether or not the show's there.
You're at Stout.
I'm going to Stout. So if you guys want to come with me and do a show, that's great. If not,
listen, if we could bring MSG with us, that'd be great.
that'd
be awesome.
We're going to Stout. I want to go to Stout. It's where we start. It's became a tradition. Opening night, we should be there as well.
Okay, we'll get the powers that be on that right away.
We will.
This was interesting. I thought Jacob cut this one for me. How about Warriors GM Mike Dunleavy Jr. on Steph Curry's future?
Obviously, he's eligible for an extension coming up at the end of this month, and we'll talk through all that stuff and can't speak on it much right now. But I'm pretty confident Steph will finish his career here. But ultimately, it's his call, his decision, whether that's allowing his contract to run out and move on, or look, if he comes to me and wants to be moved, Joe and I will talk it through. And we wouldn't love it, but he's earned the right to do where he wants to do those things. So, but as far as the messaging or any idea that he would be anywhere else,
I get the point. Well, let's just have fun with it, because deep down we all feel like Steph's just going to stay there. He's going to finish his career where he started. I think that's the most logical place. The Warriors can't go cheap with him. They know this. It's too embarrassing. But let's live in a world where Steph's just like, you know what, though? I want to play somewhere else.
But he doesn't lose anything legacy-wise just staying and it ending this way. It's he has established everything he needed to. Was the key cog in every single one of those championships. Of course, Kevin Durant was involved. Was
Consider
the key cog
the Bay
as well.
Area and tell me now, like Don, here's a list. Bay Area. Where's Steph Curry? In the all-time ranks. Now, Joe Montana, obviously, right?
Joe Montana, Willie Mays.
Barry.
Curry's bigger than Barry because he won. Barry didn't win.
Remember, Curry's got a.
Willie didn't win
he doesn't
either.
have one. Curry's got a pocket full of championships.
I know, but he's not Willie Mays.
No, he's not
Joe
Willie Mays.
Montana.
He's not.
So he'd be third.
All right, but still, is there anybody else you're putting ahead of him?
Jonathan Chichu. No. Yeah,
Yes.
Jacob said Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice got to be there.
I don't know if he's ahead of Steph, though, is he?
Oh, yeah. Jerry Rice.
Ahead of Steph.
Jerry Rice is ahead of Joe Montana. Jerry Rice is the greatest football player ever lived.
Here we go. All right.
Jerry Rice is the greatest football player that ever lived. It's Jerry Rice and Lawrence Taylor. Those are the two.
Any Oakland A's you're throwing there?
Any Oakland Raiders.
The Raiders.
Any Oakland A's? Reggie Jackson, was he there long enough?
Wasn't there long enough.
That's a great question, Alan. Great.
Yeah. But I mean, he's so Curry is.
But you want to play. You want to play the game.
You want to play that game.
Like, you got a lot of great San Francisco
McCovey.
Giants, but Curry's.
The question of who needs a point guard is almost insulting, because the answer to the question of who would want Steph Curry, even at this advanced
I'm not
age,
saying who would want him. I'm saying where would he?
Where would he want to go?
He say, "I'd love to play here."
He was born in Akron, but did he spend any time there?
He went to college in Davidson.
No, he's a Carolina.
He went
to North Carolina.
He's Carolina through and through.
Wait a minute.
It's either Celtics or Charlotte.
So he's not going to go play for the Hornets.
They have to get off Paul George.
Can Freddie Kitchens recruit him?
Just stay where you are, man.
That's why I think he's going to. I don't think he's going anywhere. And Charlotte, because it's home, it would be a cool story.
But that team,
it's not like it doesn't hit enough for him to go like, yeah, I'm playing for the Hornets. I always wanted to. His dad wore the jersey, so for him to wear the jersey, does it even matter?
It wouldn't be a team. It would be wanting to play with someone. And I just don't.
I don't see that.
And you don't see that. Well, I'm just saying, like, I think that would even mean more than like picking some random team.
I don't.
And I think he's played with everybody. He's
like he and LeBron have a respect for each other, and they have a relationship. But like LeBron had every opportunity to go play there, and he chose not to. And so if you're Steph, I don't think Steph was going to chase LeBron. Like he's not running to Philly. He's not doing that.
No,
the only place that has that only place that's like a hometown with an emotional tie would be Charlotte, and that just doesn't have any juice to it. Golden State's his place, man.
No, he should stay. And I think I got him at 4 in the Bay Area.
4?
Yeah.
I like this.
Montana, Rice,
Willie Mays.
And Willie Mays, then Steph Curry.
Yeah.
This is what we do here.
Okay.
Make magic.
Are you comfortable with that or no?
I'm not uncomfortable with it.
There's no Raider.
Yeah.
There's no Raider.
Unless you go Jim Plunkett or something.
Well, no, listen,
Stabler?
God love Jim Plunkett, but,
God love
Stabler. No. What
about Madden?
A?
What about Madden if we're going personalities now? Madden?
No.
Even
if it wasn't, still, what he did with Rays, he won a Super Bowl. It's not enough.
Speaking of Russell Westbrook, by the way.
Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook.
We've all been there.
It's happened.
It's a tough one.
We all have these moments.
We've noticed this for a while, that there's going to be a problem with pitching in baseball.
You think?
The latest concern, I would say, is Paul Skeens, who left last night after just 65 pitches and a dip in his fastball velocity. I don't think he got over 98.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now, of course, Pirates manager John Kelly said that Skeens' early exit wasn't injury-related, saying he lifted the All-Star before the start of the 6th inning because, quote, he thought it gave his team the best chance to win.
Stop it. All right. See, again,
Yeah.
Don,
I'm good.
fraud
I
alert.
disagree,
Fraud alert.
but okay.
Are you
I know you're
kidding
protecting
me?
the player, but listen, everybody will get a chance to rest next year.
But look, Mizorowski had to get taken out right after the All-Star game that he didn't participate in to what they called arm fatigue, and he's throwing 106 again. So I don't know how this is going to end. But
I don't know either.
These guys throwing gas like they are, it doesn't seem like it's sustainable. That's going to do it for ENN, by the way.
It's a really good
because we don't have a lot of time. Going right to Mets Braves.
Look at you.
That's right. And that was ENN, and was brought to you by Boost Mobile. Don't overpay. Get unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month forever, for life, for real. Switch now at boostmobile.com.
NBA schedule, the full schedule. Tomorrow, 3 o'clock, Donnie.
The whole
Very
shebang.
excited. We're going to play win-loss for 82 games.
You want to do the 82? I'm ready. I'm not scared. I'll do it. We'll recap. We'll recap the Yankees. We'll recap the Mets and whatever's happening with Giants and Jets. That should be a lot of fun as well. So we're looking forward to talking to you again coming up tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Mets baseball is next. Don Hahn and Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
I take the car service home heavily medicated on Ativan, right? And my wife had told me prior to that,